What's up? What the fuck? Say something coming on in. What's up, Camille? What's going on? I see you live in California. Thanks for tuning in on this Valentine's Day. Our likes leaving women lonely. What's up? What's up, Mo? You about to call? Go ahead, girl. We're about to get started about 7:05. I'm good. Y'all my Valentine's for the day. We're going to get started in a minute. Mike's already on the line. So, Mo, if you want to call in, go ahead and do so. We can get this started in a second, about 3 minutes. I'm trying to get booted. All right, almost. What's going on, Mo? Hold on before we get started.
Okay.
What's up? What's up? Hold on.
What's up? Hey, Stack. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what up, girl? What up, Stack?
Hey.
Catherine on the phone.
Valentine's Day, y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day to you too.
So this is gonna be a interesting topic tonight. You know, I know we kind of already had started. Let me go and get this. I'm trying to get this started on another stream real quick. But you got anything to say about this, Mike? I know you was interested in this topic.
Man, the shit is blowing my mind right now. I went into the Walmart today and I couldn't believe how many people were buying shit, you know, for that one Valentine's Day. But there's so many different Valentine's Days and topics I want to address because the shit is deep. You know, the topic that you were explaining from yesterday about, you know, how likes, being more concerned with likes can leave you lonely. And I see it, I know we all see it, but this is the shit that social media don't touch on because they know it's that deep. And if people really saw the truth behind that shit, they're going to start questioning either what they're doing or who they're involved with, or why the fuck is that person just doing this only for likes? It's because they don't like themselves. But we're going to touch more back on that when we get into the whole deepness of the situation of people doing whatever they do for likes, and then when they end up lonely from all the shit that they did, then that just goes to show that they didn't love themselves. But we're going to get more on that because I got more shit behind that.
Anything you?
I got a comment, Mike.
Okay,
Can I comment on
What up?
Quick?
What up?
You said you saw them today at Walmart doing all that. What I'm thinking, okay, if you feel like I don't know if you feel like every day is Valentine's or you don't believe in it, but I'm thinking if you're gonna do it every day, don't forget that day too. But of course, don't just do it that day like, oh, I just want to show you how much I care about you only on this day. Every day is Valentine's. But also, don't skip that day either. If you celebrate it, if you celebrate 364, do it on that 365th day too.
I feel you on that. That's respect, but you know, a lot of people don't really understand the meaning of the concept of Valentine's Day. Like Valentine's Day for you and your loved ones should be every day, not just on that day that you want to ball out. That's all a marketing strategy, and it goes much deeper than that. Like a lot of people want that attention and self-love when they don't love themselves, which shows a deeper underlying issue through the mental side of things. Like if you see a lot of chicks nowadays, they be doing shit on social media, you know, exposing themselves way too much, and the perception of what other men may see of them, like, oh yeah, she's stunned, she's got all of this, she's got all of that, but they didn't see the deeper picture. Like, okay, how is she really in the real world? If you see a lot of chicks nowadays, you see that they be stunting, flashing a lot of skin in the bathroom or in their own house, and a lot of people miss the laundry that's laying on the floor, the kids that's crying in the background, or the shitty toilets in the bathroom, or why she's got a whole bunch of mildew on the walls and shit. Nobody sees that because nobody really pays attention to that. But she's so thoughtless of seeing, okay, what am I exposing myself to, and how people gonna look at me in that different way of just, okay, yeah, I know how to treat that chick. I know how to treat her like shit because she's showing too much and not leaving anything to the imagination. Same thing with the dudes. They be flashing the money, flashing the whips, and they wonder why they get robbed. You know, you can't be doing all of that shit. If you have self-love and you respected yourself, you will want others to respect you too on that level, not just give you a whole bunch of likes. And then when you ain't got nothing else going on, you just, shit, nothing.
Okay, I want your feedback on this day right here that we chatting on.
So be honest, it's really, you know, I know it's the day, but we're gonna talk about in longevity as well too. But go ahead, man. I want to cut you off. I just want to say that.
No, I was just saying, just humor me on this. So if you do want to just come and ball out for just Valentine's Day only, why are you waiting till the last minute? You didn't know it was coming? It comes the same time. I'm just saying.
Well, that's for a man that's a fool. You know, I always tell you guys on my channel, a sensible man watches for problems and prepares to meet them. The fool never looks ahead. So if you're a fool and you know this day is coming for a man or for a woman and you last minute shopping, it shows you how much you respect your significant other or the person you're dealing with. So at the end of the day, if they're last minute on that, then that shows you where you really rank in their lives. That's how I feel about that. Captain, you got any opening things you want to say about Valentine's Day, or, you know, because we'll get in a topic as soon as you say what you want to say.
I think I'll wait till we get into it because I kind of want to see how since I guess we were mainly, I know men do things, but I guess we're mainly putting this toward on the female side.
Yeah.
I want to know how the men feel, does it make a difference if the woman is single or if she is, you know, because if a woman is single and she's out there, maybe that's her way of putting herself out there. Maybe she feel like she putting herself out there on the market to get chosen. And it may not be the right way, but maybe in that woman head, and, you know, because depending on your age, you know, I don't know, there's different people post or whatever. I have an Instagram and I see women post. I don't know how old these women are, where they at in their head, but maybe that's their way of putting themselves out there to say, hey, you know, I'm available, you know, just thinking. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but if that's from that person feel like that's the way they could get out there, and maybe they feel like that's how men will see them and probably try to get with them, it may be the wrong answer. We know that's not right at our age, but younger women probably think that's the way they're going to get seen and maybe get chosen.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get into that First of all, I'm gonna ask the ladies: have you ever heard of the husband store analogy?
I just want to say, hey, Catherine.
Okay.
Hey, Mo, how you?
All right, Mo. I'm gonna start with Mo. Mo first. Have you ever heard of the husband store analogy?
I haven't heard of it. No, unless it sounds like you shopping for a husband. No, I haven't.
Okay,
heard
so are you a woman that like to shop?
I'm a recovering shopaholic.
Okay. Catherine, what about you? Have you ever heard the husband store analogy?
No, I haven't.
You said what?
No, I haven't.
I love that Amazon.
Okay. So I'm gonna start the program with the husband store analogy, but I want the women to ask. I'm gonna explain the rules to you guys. I'm gonna ask you guys to shop at this husband store for me and see how far you guys want to go. But one simple rule of the husband store. It's 6 floors for on every floor is a husband. But if you pick a husband on one floor, you can't go up to the next floor. And if you go up to the next floor, you can't go down for a husband on the first floor or whatever floor that you pass. So when you get to the 6th floor, you have to leave. All right.
Okay.
So y'all let me know where y'all gonna stop shopping or if y'all gonna keep going. Okay. Now this is something I heard from Kevin Samuels, but I kind of heard this from my older brother and my brother-in-law a long time ago about the husband store. But we just gonna check it out and see where we go with it. So on the first floor, huh?
I heard of a different version, but it's almost similar to that, and that shit is real deep.
Yes, but it's a lot of people change this. I changed it for what I feel like is doable for me. So on the first floor, you guys come in, and the men on the first floor, they love kids, have jobs, make money. These guys make around $50K a year, and that's pretty much it. So how you feel? Would you guys keep going or would you stop there?
You say you make money, you make over 50K, about 50K a year, you love kids, and what else?
And that's it.
I'm going to keep going.
Okay. What about you, Mo?
That floor sounds good, but I just want to see what's up. See, I feel like I'm getting trapped here.
No, I ain't getting trapped. It's your choice. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I like that floor, but I was just curious to see what's 2 through 6. But that floor sounds good so far.
You gonna keep going?
Yeah, I'll keep going.
All right. Floor number 2. Floor number 2. Man loves kids, has jobs, makes $60K a year, and he's handsome and athletic. Captain, you staying on this floor? Or you going? Keep going.
All right, so he nice looking, he athletic, he love kids, and he makes $60K a year. Man, that's all good, but I'm gonna need some more too. Cause I that's good because I want to know if he's faithful, is he a good man? So I might not stay on that floor because I need more than just that.
Okay.
That's the thing. For me, the more you go on, the more it made me think, well, we're not even talking about how he feels about you. You say he loves kids, this and that, he makes money. Okay, that's great. All this is him. Where do I fit into this?
All right.
So let's keep going.
You keep going too? All right.
Number 3.
All right. Man loves kids, makes $70K a year, handsome, athletic, loves God, loves his wife. I mean, looking for, they're husbands already, so I can't say look for a wife, but love God and family. Love God and family.
He loved God and he loved family. And he
makes $70K a year.
70K, nice looking, and he athletic. All that. I might stay on this floor because if he got God in his life, he more than likely he can be on the right track.
So you done shopping? You done? You cashing out?
Well, wait a minute. Let me see. Let me think.
I'm waiting for Catherine so I can give my 2 cents.
Damn. I think I'm at the right spot though here because he got love God. He making good money, 70,000, pretty good. Damn. He got all the qualities I like. Yeah, I'll stay on the slow because he loved God. I think that might do it because I think if he loved God, he'll do it. He'll do right by me because
Okay.
he'll be wanting to please God. So yeah, I'll stay there.
You stop. Okay.
Alright.
She done shopping. What about you, Mo? You gonna keep shopping? You go on the 4th floor? What you gonna do?
Okay, so hold on. Is it supposed to be understood that for floors 1 through 6 that he cares about his wife, that he loves his wife, or
It's gonna get better every floor. Every floor seems to get better. That's all I know so far. That's all I'm saying.
okay? Because I think
gotta-
to me,
It's a husband
it
store.
seems like it's an illusion because on every floor it's more and more non-material stuff. Like, okay, on this floor he loved God, but he constantly making more money. But that's it. To me, it seems like realistically he would have all that with no money.
Okay, well, this just don't. We can't question the
Not
criteria.
No money, but
We're trying
what you
to.
say?
We're not trying to question the criteria. This is the store. When you go to the store, if they don't got what you like in one section, you go to the next. So we gotta keep going, Mo. I don't want to argue about the flow, but let's go. If you gonna stay or what? I want to get the point across. Are you gonna stay or are you gonna keep chopping?
I'm sorry, I had it on mute. I'm constantly talking to you. No, yeah, I would go on to the next floor. I wouldn't try to
Okay.
argue, but it just seemed like it's a trick. But
I mean, it's part of, you gotta, life is a trick,
yeah, it is.
So life is a risk as well. So that's why it's called the husband store. All right, number 4, the 4th floor. Man loves kids, makes money, make $80K a year, loves God, handsome, athletic, and brings a good time in the bedroom. The additional thing is to bring the good time in the bedroom. So I don't know if Catherine might have a dude that can't have sex good. But anyway.
That was floor 6. I mean, that's floor 5, right?
That's floor 4.
Oh, that was only the 4th floor. Why wouldn't it keep going?
You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
5th floor. Here we go.
5th floor. Man loves kids, owns his own business, makes $90K a year, handsome, athletic, loves God, great in bed, never wants his wife to work. Would you stop at the 5th floor?
You said we're not arguing about it. So,
You said never wants his wife to work.
I wanna
Love.
see the 6th floor.
All right. So you done with the 5th floor? You sure? All right.
Yep.
6th floor. This your last choice. All right. There are no men on the 6th floor, Mo. Unfortunately, you are the 1,000,001 woman that made it to this floor. Thanks for shopping at the husband store. Goodbye.
Yup.
Right. I thought it was a trap.
No,
Because if you
it just-
said Kevin Samuels, it made me think that, oh, y'all chasing something that don't exist.
and that's the point of this live stream is only like you need is one like. You know what I mean, in life. And a lot of times that man you could have made on really technically the man you could have picked on the 1st floor.
First floor.
On the 1st floor with his partnership with you would have made him to the 5th floor. He would have been an owner and all that with a good wife on his backbone. But
See, and that's what I was thinking on the dude I met, because the guy I met, he already make good money. He nice looking. He love kids. He love God. I feel like that man that love God, he's going to try to do, if you love God, you're going to try to, please God. So you're going to be all the other things. The sex thing, if he ain't that good, we can work on that. So if he might not be the best, we can fix that. We can always make a little bit more money and stuff with us together. So, and then not working, I don't mind working. So if I don't have to work, that's fine. But I don't think I'm missing out on nothing. So I think I made a good choice on the floor.
she did. You made a good choice, Mo. You made a no man's land choice. And that's
No, I didn't even choose yet. I was just saying what was on every floor.
well, but I'm just saying, and that's the point of this broadcast is lights leaving women lonely because when do you cash out? Man cash
I
out.
can stop at the 1st floor then.
Well, it's too late now. You went through the store. You got no man's land. But I'm just saying. But the analogy is just to let you know that women too busy worried about likes and accumulating shopping and not worry about cashing out when they got something good. They always want something better and better. And it shows that in this day and age in social media, men are more simple, women are not simple. They hypergamy has I always think this it's always something better. Or if I get 2 or 3 more degrees or make more money, I can attract more men compared to going to.
I disagree with that.
But I'm just saying in general.
Because men are like that. I think that's a no.
Yeah, but we talking.
Hold on.
We talking in general states.
Yeah, that's the mindset. To be honest with you, I understand where Stacks is coming from, but that's the mindset of a lot of women today. If you haven't noticed what they do for likes, and we're not saying y'all generally, but we're saying that why not just be happy with who you have as long as they're doing right by you and y'all are on the equal footing. But it seems that a lot of the generations, a lot of the shit that's going on today, they pump a lot of misinformation into one another, leading them, oh, you can have so much more if you just leave this person and just keep going till you reach the top. And then when they reach the top and they no more fucking steps to step on, and they fall all the way down to the bottom over some likes.
Yeah, that's
right. I get that y'all want to put that towards women. I get it because we talking about likes, but always thinking that it's something better. That men do that just as well.
Yeah.
They will go to the next chick and be like, it's another one. Yeah, she might be fine, man. She might be pretty, but it's somebody out here just so that don't just apply for women, y'all. And I know y'all want to put, I get it, that's the topic, but that is not just something that applies for women. Men do it just as well.
Okay, you right.
I would say for that game, I was curious just to see where it's going. But that's what I said in the midst of playing. I was like, this is basically just trying to say, okay, we just trying to go for more and more, like the grass is greener syndrome. When we
well,
know,
you should have.
If you knew
that as a woman, use your real discernment. You know, I don't know. I think Mo, you was playing the game, and Catherine was actually thinking strategic of real life. So. Maybe I should have said that in the beginning. So, because Catherine made a choice, because once she heard God, she was done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought that once you put that up there, the other levels would have God too. But the real life Mo, I have been involved with. It wasn't even a level 1 as far as the money part, but the God fearing and everything else was there. It wasn't even 50K, and I've worked with that, but. So, yeah, I fell for the trap of the game, I see. But definitely, I understand that with social media and the likes. I don't chase likes at all in real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're just general. We still have to keep it generally talking to the topic, because I don't want y'all to get, flustered, because y'all not those type of women. I wouldn't even have that type of women on here. I'm really trying to speak to the people that watch this YouTube channel and save somebody from being so delusional about, not picking, because at the end of the day, you can't have it all. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make a choice of what you're going to compromise with when you have a man or a woman, and it go both sides, just like Catherine said. So the next thing I want to talk about is the first thing about why will a man, like, I feel like when we date each other, if you don't have a picture, I'm not answering your request. Sorry. I don't know what the hell that is. That somebody else on this other thing trying to hit me up, but I don't answer people that don't have pictures requests. But back to the topic. I want to talk about how man chooses their wives. Everybody, I've been a husband before, but it's a certain criteria I feel like a woman need in her life for me to pick her. And a lot of times I feel like when a woman gives me her social media, it tells me everything about who she really is. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back and do a background check of seeing, like, is this going to fit my life, or this going to fit my program? Because at the end of the day, the man is the head, the woman's the neck, and the man is giving up his last name and taking on the responsibility of doing what he have to do. You know what I'm saying? So how you feel about that, Mike? We are the, men are the gatekeepers of marriage and women are the gatekeepers of sex.
Yeah, it goes real deep. It goes real deep, just like that. Like, a lot of women are the gatekeepers of sex and the gatekeepers of other things though too. But we have to invest our time and energy into them, and they have to reciprocate that back. If they're not reciprocating that back or reciprocating enough of it, it just won't happen. It's like putting two parts of energy together that just don't mix. There's gonna be a lot of fucking shit between it. Like, it's not gonna happen. So a lot of women could withhold that, and a lot of men could just withhold whatever they got, and then basically both parts just don't even collide together. Like, it won't even match up. That's just the way it is.
Facts. Another thing I want y'all to understand, and y'all can ask me questions, ladies, but the first thing we'll do a background check on a woman, but man, we are very territorial towards our women. So if you look like your lifestyle on your social media, if it makes you or it makes you as a woman, then we ain't gonna want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Catherine, I see your social media. It's cool. It's really wifey social media because it's not showing no booty pics. Is, you barely post maybe 4 or 5 times a month. So, but if a woman posting every day, that means she's gonna be in a constant battle as she grows with a man. That a man don't want that. He don't want to compete with a woman's social media. Period. How you feel about that, Captain? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I completely understand. Yes, I do. And I be on Instagram and I be like, these women are really extra. I be feeling like they be doing a whole lot. So I do get that. And that's true. And then that's what I was going to say. Sometimes I don't know these women's ages and stuff, but when a woman had to get to that point in her life, a female, where she just, is done with that and just really recognize who she is. So a lot of them, I think, are like more younger women. I don't know a whole lot of older women that maybe they mid-40s or something like that, or like 40s that's doing that. I mean, do y'all know any?
Well, you'd be surprised.
Like
I know a lot of. Go ahead, Mike. I'll let Mike go. Go ahead.
No. Hold on. Let me just interpret. Like, a lot of them, to be honest with you, Kat, they're not even just like one age particular or underage or anything like that. There'd be a lot of folks that are your age and older that be doing that shit too. I knew an actual neighbor that lived on my block, an older woman. She's like 50 going on 60, and she's with that social media shit because she has somewhat of a teenage girl shape. And I told her, I said, look, man, don't you think it's, kind of like game over right now? Like, don't you think maybe, you should slow down and try to settle down? She was just like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, oh, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, cool. So she kept on trying to push up on me. And I'm like, nah, I'm not with all of that shit. Like, I'm for something else, totally different than the level that you're on. And then one time she walked into the store and I so happened to see her there, and she tried to push up on a younger guy. And the guy was like, bitch, you're too old for me. And I was like, wow, she got checked real quick over them likes. And when I saw her social media and shit, I like detached away from that shit too, because she put a friend request, and I saw it and I was like, oh, nah, I want people to know that I'm, actually know this person. I don't want any parts of them. But when she tried to like push up on me, and I said, no, I'm not with that, and she tried to push up on a younger dude, which was of the younger generation, she didn't know one enough was enough, and she got checked for it. And I think it hurt her more knowing that all of that whole jumping around, flashing your shit and everything, because she had a nice figure, but she was she hit the wall.
Right.
And when she went past that, she didn't know her limitations. And just like how she was shopping, like Stack said, in that damn elevator, she went all the way to the top floor, and there was nothing there.
So, yeah.
And that's what them likes get you. And that's not just with women. That's with men, it takes a longer time for that to happen. But with women, it's almost instant.
Yeah. Well, women, be honest, women are the gatekeepers of sex. So ever since you was 14 or 15, and I know Mo and Catherine, y'all both can say, ever since y'all was a certain age, that dude's been trying to have sex with you since you was that age. So saying no to a guy is nothing no more. But at the same time, that attention comes with a lot of responsibility. And a lot of times women hit their peak years from 18 to 33, and what happens is a lot of women are frustrated in their mid-30s because they did all these hot girl summers and girls just want to have fun. And that started in 1983 with Cindy Loopy making that song. But a lot of times women don't realize that, you know what, at the end of the day, I have to vet out for a husband, because at the end of the day, when women wasted their pair bonding years, some of these women are delusional and they think it's a man tree. I can go find a man anywhere I want to and get married when I want to. Then they look up and they realize these men that you think want you are basically simps and low value men that don't have anything, you know. So that's you know, because at the end of the day, do y'all feel like women overplay their hand when they young and they useful? Do y'all feel like people can get, well, this day and age, everybody can get trapped in that, but I feel like women are the control of the gatekeepers of sex. So I'm gonna ask Mo, how you feel about that, Mo?
You said young and useful. Can you explain the useful part?
Okay, so your fertility lasts until you about 35. After that, it's high risk pregnancy, right? Okay. So if you're 18 and you're running to the age of 35, or you're just doing your thing, you making your own money, you doing your hot girl summer, you kicking it with your girls. Older you get, the more wear and tear that is going to be on your body. And when you turn 27, there's another hot 18-year-old, another hot 21-year-old. And most women average to date 7 years older. So when you 26, you probably checking man that's 32, 33. But at the same time, that 32, 33-year-old man, he can check out that 21-year-old as well. So you're in competition with these young girls. But at the same time, when you offer different advances from men in your mid years, just like a football player or a basketball player, they get their best contracts when they're in their prime. And women get their best offers from men when they're in their prime. But you never see older football, basketball players signing multi-million-dollar contracts in their 30s. They do that in their early 20s. Same thing with women. Your pair bonding years are in like between 23 and 25. So if you don't choose wisely, you're gonna be duped when you get that 33, 34. And it's time for you to hurry up and try to pair bond with a man and have a child with. And then at the end of the day, some of these women are so delusional from the simps by putting them on a pedestal. They feel like it's a man tree at the end, and it's not a man tree at the end. And that's why a lot of women say men play games, because they played all the games first, and now that they realize they don't have the power, they blame it on men.
Well, how do you feel about, okay, like you said, a 33-year-old man, he could go get a 19-year-old instead of for the 27-year-old that might be checking him. But what about when a lady is 40? She's always going to be younger to some man. She can go get a 60-year-old. I mean, that's saying that might not be your top choice,
but that's it. But that's the key. The man is the gatekeepers of marriage. And at that point, for men, we're mature slower than y'all. So at 33, 35, we know who we are. Then first thing we're gonna question is, why is this woman single at almost my age? So then he gonna go do his background check. Now, if you just a woman that been married twice, or like married like Catherine been married, he's gonna look at you totally different because you won already. But if you're not been married, he gonna be like, what's she been doing all this long? So why should I pay for something the other man didn't want to pay for at all? That's how we think. You see what I'm saying?
They have to feel like they're paying for something. Maybe she was just waiting for the right one. Maybe all she had was those.
But I'm just saying, you're right. But I'm just saying, in general, we're gonna do a full background check, because at that point of our life as men, we at our top discernment. It's different if you're 22 and a dude. If a dude is 24, 25, he's not gonna go that deep, because he really ain't know himself. He just basically gonna go and try to pair bond with you and then learn, and y'all grow together and learn together. But when we're older, we're gonna look at like, we don't have time to waste as men or women. So a man gonna look down on the best choice, because at the end of the day, some man like me, I'm 39, I got married at 28. I don't want to get married again and waste my time and my money and my efforts if it's not right. So when I vet out a woman, I'm going to check everything about her before I make that choice of another wife again.
I want to say that thing. I feel like we're being judged harder because
you're gonna be judged hard. The older you get, you're gonna get judged harder.
Yeah, because we can't ask. Okay, well, why you said somebody they'll look at you like you've been married twice, you haven't been married at all. What about if a woman comes and says, "Oh, you've been married and divorced twice or three times. What was wrong with you?" I mean, but it's not okay to question the other side. Just like earlier, she said, men do it just like women do it.
Yeah, but if we keep doing that, we're gonna keep moving the goalposts right now, and we're not trying to move the goalposts because at the end of the day, it's all about how we feel when we get older. That's all I'm saying. It's not about, okay, you've been married, you this, you that. To me, people that's been married, for me, is an accomplishment. They show relationship skills. They show an end goal. So I don't look at people that, because everybody's all fucked up. We all need therapy. We all broken. We all this, we all that. But I'm just saying, in a man's point of view, he's want to see, how did you finish? Did somebody value what you brought to the table to make them his wife? Period. No matter if you've been married or not. I would rather have somebody telling me marriage advice that's been married or married compared to a person that never been married.
Yeah, I want you to have a topic on, like you just said, okay, they never been married, but how do you know they weren't ducking and dodging abusive relationships? But
okay, if they wasn't ducking and dodging abusive relationships, a man with discernment is gonna be like, well, where did you get your therapy at, sweetheart? Did you because a lot of times that comes along. A lot of times people think they can help fix themselves and they can't.
Yeah, they might have said, okay, well, just so I could be married, I'll stay with him. He's abusive, but I don't want to be divorced, so I'll be divorced later. I'm saying you could walk away from that, but so you're saying that you'll get more of a crown, not crown, but you'll be positively viewed or judged, even if you did walk away from an abusive marriage compared to, oh, I know he was abusive, so I didn't want to get married to him.
Well, if you know he was abusive, then that's your self-worth to get away from that. Just like if you were at a dead-end job, it's not for me to be a next employer to hire you because you was working a dead-end job.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. A man should be able to look and say, well, that's good, you dodged the bullet, instead of, okay, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you have to live in.
Then you're gonna be broken when you come out of an abusive marriage.
Yeah, and that's when the therapy and the work starts. A lot of times, people cling on and monkey branch to the next person, but they don't want to go do the work. And we always talk about that on my channel. So,
Yeah, that shit is deep. It's so deep that I honestly feel like a lot of people, when in relationships and they get out of those certain situations, it's like Noah Stack said. It amazes me how many people don't take that time to recover. Mm-hmm. When you don't recover, you bring that bullshit into the next relationship. When I noticed, when I had to do my own thing after recovering, after leaving one relationship, I always took time to myself to find out where I fucked up at, how I could make myself better, and how I could improve so that I won't make that same mistake again. Now, the difference when I dealt with between dealing with a person that wasn't married as opposed to a person that was married, depending on how that relationship ended, I respect them more. It's not that I say that I don't have respect for the individual that was never married, but I see where the issue may have lied at. It was just like a really, really bad situation where it was in a disagreement between both parties, or maybe one party didn't want to work it out with the other. But learning through all of that shit, I'd have to say that, the shit is deep, man. It's all the energy thing. Spiritual and that energy that's placed in with that.
Okay.
So it's not just everybody, but it's a real serious situation with that.
How do y'all feel about the ones that just do that to cross it off the list? Like, okay, married by 30, degree by 20 or whatever, it's just something. You're not doing it because you might have been in love to be married forever. You just want to say I've been married, even if you get divorced after 2 years.
Then that really wasn't an accomplishment. Then if they put stipulations on that,
and then and that's another thing. Like when you talk to women that's been wives, why they was a wife and why they why they may not be with the person, or they actually, people tell on themselves. You know, if you put them in a room, and just like when they I want to say interrogate people at the police station, they put them in a room and they let a person wait it out, and people tell on themselves eventually. So even if you was a wife and you have a messed up structure, or you don't have a usually people that's been in a structural environment, or being a wife or a husband, if he don't have no type of production, or she don't have no type of production, it tells you a lot of where that marriage went. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, like I said, it helps to know that a person has been chosen, but at the same time, a person in the long run would basically tell on themselves that they don't have their production together. So, but moving on, I want to move on to another topic where it's still right there in the same topic. Real love is private. And I don't think a lot of people realize that if you're gonna have real love, it should be private. When I was married, me and my ex-wife did not have social media at all, you know. And at the end of the day, and another thing, we have to keep our family members and our friends out of our business, because we need, if we need to compromise, then we need to go to a therapist to understand what's the compromise. Because as soon as you tell your family or your friends what's going on in your marriage, they're going to look at your wife or your husband sideways, even though you may forgive them, because at the end of the day, that covering comes with the wife and the husband together, and that bond comes with the two in the relationship, not the outside people. Now, they might be outside witnesses to put you in line when you're doing something wrong, when the opposite sex not around. Or say if I was hanging out with my guys and I was drinking a little bit too much, my guys is there for putting me in, that was at my wedding, to hold this marriage together, was to help me be responsible so I can go home to my wife. Vice versa with a lady. But at the end of the day, I feel like real relationships are very private. So we gotta realize that when we do have these social medias and these likes will leave you lonely, you got to start preparing as if you have a husband, if you're willing to vet man out and want a husband. You can't have it both. You got to start training yourself like, this ain't good for my social media, because your social media is I would say, your resume to get a man, period. You want to add on something on that, Catherine, about being private when you're in a relationship with a man?
I totally agree with that, because that was some issues with my second marriage, that my family was a lot involved. And then when we did have our disagreements and things that went wrong, I would run and I would talk to my mom or told my sister about things that went on with us. And, they would give me advice of what I should do, but it got back to him. It just turned out to not be good. So that can happen. It can cause issues. It happened with my brother and his marriage with his, it was his, it might have been his first marriage. Yeah. He had that, and I thought that they could do really well together. But even to this day, I tell my brother, I'm like, I think that you and her were good together. And he said, yeah, it was because of the family, even the church. It was the her parents and even the church people, because it was a part of her family too. And it got all up in the church and everything, and it really destroyed their marriage. So I definitely agree with that. And I don't think that people should post everything on social media with your relationship either. Like, and then when you're having an argument, people so foolish, they get on there and post when they angry with their, partner or whatever. I just don't agree with it. I don't think everything needs to be shared. I'm private anyway with my social media. I don't do that because I just never been that type. But yeah, I do agree. It should be privacy.
Yeah. And if you coming in on the other stream, you could come in on Stack 44 on YouTube, and the numbers in the description if you want to call in and enjoy the conversation. Stack 44 on YouTube. So, but you got anything you want to add on that, Mike, about privacy and relationship?
Me, honestly, like privacy and relationship, I can't stress that enough. Keep your family out your private business when you're in a relationship. Because if that person loves you or respects you, as long as you ain't doing wrong by them and you're doing what you're supposed to do, the love, it hits differently when you actually have somebody that values you and respects your wishes. That works out even more. And you get further in your relationships more when you don't involve other people that can fuck up your shit, involving themselves and putting their perspectives in on your business and who you have dealings with. It's a very serious thing.
What you got, Mo, on the privacy of the relationship?
I definitely think it should be private. And I'm seeing a lot of relationships go sour because it was on Facebook and social media messed it up. The social media feedback messed it up.
Facts. I mean, you gotta treat your relationship like a business. Just say if me and my next ex-wife or my next wife or whatever, I just fuck around. But just say me and my wife had a business, and at the end of the day, we close up the drawer and we know what's in that drawer. The world don't need to know what's in our drawer or how much money we made that day. And if you treat your relationship like that and realize that social media don't need to know what's in your drawer, then you'll be good. Because at the end of the day, they don't need to know what's in your drawer. You might have a bad day. You might have a good day. But at the same time, who needs to know that? Why validation has to be so? Validation can be private between you and your partner, not for the world to see. I mean, I seen a girl today on Valentine's Day, which is Valentine's Day. She posted what her man put in a card. She posted the card, like literally what he wrote in the card. And I feel like, to me, that's just too much. That's too much information. And then at the end of the day, y'all shacking. Y'all live together. Y'all ain't even married. So was that proven? She giving people ammunition, so when it don't work out or it is rocky, you got to keep it together and play it off, because you put a showcase of your relationship for the social media platform. So now you got to hold it together so you won't be embarrassed later.
Right, I agree with that's too much. If you posting what they put in the card, that's extra. It's just like just overdoing stuff. Like, I don't even think you should be posting. I mean, if you want to post what you get for Valentine's Day, I mean, I don't get it. I just don't. Well, everybody is different. I wouldn't do it. It's for what I was getting. You know, some people, maybe if they got like a purse or something else, maybe they want to put that up. But like, I guess, but I wouldn't do it. That's just me. I wouldn't, because I don't feel like I would let my immediate family or something know, what I got. But I don't feel like everybody needs to know what I got for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, it go back to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Is the world is circled around validation and attention. So at the end of the day, attention will leave your ass lonely as fuck. So if you do the wrong thing with your attention. How you
Exactly. I wanted to
go ahead.
On to that. I had a friend. I mean, I could give you an idea of why somebody would do that. Just like you said, attention. I had a friend that sometimes I feel like some of those people might want to just tell you, oh, look at this. Did you get this? Did you get a card with your man professing his love? Because I did. It's kind of like, it's very immature to me. But if you care about your relationship, that should be between you and your mate.
Facts. So I'm gonna move.
I agree.
I'm gonna move on to the next thing I want to talk about is one like for one life. At some point, you have to cut your single friends off if you're vetting out the man. I ain't saying cut them off completely, like go to hell. But if you're married or in a serious relationship with a fiance, you have to move. And this goes for men too. You have to move as if you can't hang out with the single boys no more. You can't hang out with the single girls no more. Especially if you're married, you got to hang out with other married people. So I'm gonna start with Catherine on this one because she's been married before. Because at the end of the day, single people that is gonna backstab you is gonna people that be close to you, people in arm's length. So a lot of times, single men will pull you away because you got something good. You might used to be the wingman or might bring the women around, but now you're married and committed to your wife. You don't do the single man thing or the single woman thing. So I'm gonna start off with Catherine. Do you feel like single people in your life while you married, is that a hard relationship to balance, or should it be balanced at all?
I think it should. Luckily, I didn't go through that in my marriage because we tend to just hang around. I didn't have, most of my friends were married just like me, and when me and my ex would go, we would go out even with other people, which were his friends or whatever. We'd go out with couples. They be together. So, but I do agree. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to. I don't think that you just have to stay completely away from a person and can't be their friend or maybe even hang out with them just because they're single, but just so much of it. Like if that's who you just hang with every time, you get out, that's who you're with, somebody single, and you don't never have any other friends that may be married, that can give you advice. I think that can be an issue. So yeah, I do.
All right, Mike, what you got on that? If you there, I'll go to Mo then. Mo, you got anything on single friends?
I'm back.
All right. You got anything on the?
Mo, go first. Go ahead, Mo.
You got anything on single friends destroying a relationship that can destroy your relationship?
I agree with that the married couples should spend probably 90% of their time with other married couples. But I want to ask you all, since some of y'all have been married, did you ever have an issue when you were hanging with the other married friends? Because you might look at their marriage and, again, with the grass is greener, well, their marriage is so great. They do this and that. And we got communication problems or whatever. Did you have issues with that?
For me, I felt like I would get around other married people and be more happy of what I have and could see their interaction was different than ours. So it was times when me and my ex-wife used to go to a 6:00 p.m. Service at the church, and we would actually meet up with other married couples to strengthen our marriage and work on it was like a marriage workshop. So a lot of times, and then we'll go around tables and talk about things in a marriage or whatever people want to share. And sometimes there's a couple of times I heard things from people that I'm like, you know what, I'm glad I'm where I'm at the time, and was like, damn, so really being around other married couples can strengthen you and wake your ass up to be like, you know what, I'm not trying to end up like how they looking at each other, because you could tell the energy off of two married people easily, because they really, married people move as one. And when you're in a room with multiple couples, you could tell the body language, who's happy and who's not. So that's my experience.
For me, when we did hang, with other married couples, like the females would tend to go, and chill together. And we were talking most of the time. How ladies talk, Mo. We get together and we talk. A lot of them would share stuff like, well, man, because normally when you like that, the guys, the men, they're really close with each other or something, or they hang in some type of, whether they work together or something like that. And so the females, if they don't know each other, the wives, they get to know each other from from just knowing each other through the husbands or whatever. So we would sit together, and most of the time they open up and be like, now I go through this, we good, not telling too much. Some of them would tell, but just would say what they got going on. And then, if you're a person, some people that probably sit up and just listen, some would share, but like he said, like Stack was saying, you could tell off the vibe, but just from the conversation that the woman would say, like, to me, what's going on in their marriage, you would know that it's not perfect. So I seen certain things when I was married and we went out that I felt a little insecure with. I'm like, well, damn, he don't do that. I could truly say I never thought that to my ex's attention, but there were times where I did feel a certain way, and I'm like, well, damn, look how he do with his wife, and he don't do this with me, but I never put it out front. I just kept it inside. But most of the time, hell, they was having the same issues I was, so it kind of was the same. Yeah,
it's in the air. What you got, Mike?
Well, as for me, I've never been married, but I have been when I was in my relationship around other married couples, and the ones that weren't married. The ones that weren't married, they had a lot of growing up to do, as opposed to the ones that were married. And then you also have to look at it, how many years went by, have they worked out and resolved each other's issues and compromised? That took a lot of heart, and that took a lot of of things to work out in honor, of you valuing that relationship with the significant other that you were with. So relationships, when me and my girl at the time that I was dealing with her, we sat down and we observed other people's relationships, and we actually had a going around the table conversation when we were at dinner or when there was like a social gathering. If we ever went to like a family get together and everything like that, and we all sat around, and some of my cousins and stuff that were married, they were going down the line of, what they dealt with and how they resolved it. And that actually helped strengthen, the relationships more and more between them when they were married. When me and my girlfriend at the time, when we were dealing with each other, I feel that more or less she wasn't introduced to those concepts as far as how her parents were, because our parents were dysfunctional, sort of like what mine were going through, but hers was more on a really, really negative level. My parents, they were still working their shit out, which, I happen to adapt to. And the main relationship situation with my shit and her shit didn't work out was because of the fact that she had still problems that she had needed to deal with on her own, even though I was willing to work it out with her, and to the point where I just said, this isn't going to work. Right. It's not. I tried, and it's not going to work. But I saw with the people that were married, they were getting their shit moving. Like, anytime a situation popped up, what they did was they compromised, they got together, they sat down, and they talked about it, and they said, okay, what can we do to resolve it? Well, I feel that, this, that, and the third happened. Okay, fine. Let's work this out with this, and this. And the more and more they got together as a group, the more powerful they became in making moves, getting access to jobs. When it came down to real family situations where they were involved with somebody or there's kids involved from both different sides, where one side already had kids and the other side is also coming into the relationship with kids, they gave each other different ideas on how they did it to work things out. And that's serious making moves right there. Situational making moves. So yeah, it definitely does show the maturity level. I'm not saying that.
We got another call real quick. Hold on, Mike, real quick.
All right.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey.
What's going on? Is this Miss Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
shit.
Chris.
Hey, Chris. All right.
Hey.
Mike, you done what you were saying, Mike?
Hey, Miss Vegas. Hey, Mom. Hey, Catherine. Hello. Hey.
You got anything you want to add on the topic, Chris, so far? I don't know how much you listen to. We putting you right out there right now.
I know.
If you want to wait, we could keep going. I don't know how long you been listening.
But in and out.
I know you going in and out a little bit. I don't know. Make sure you're on mute too, because
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you back. But yeah, Mike, that's a good point, man. A lot of times you could feed off other couples' energy and make your relationship better, or see their negativity and allow your relationship to we're not gonna be like them. And I remember I used to tell my ex-wife that don't be the exception. Let's don't be the negative. Let's be the positive. So basically, how they had these statistics of marriage and divorce. I let's fight against that. Let's be our motivation that we're gonna be the people that's not the divorcees. So, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. But that's the mentality you guys gotta have when you in a partnership with each other, is that you don't let people get in and destroy your playbook as a man or woman. So, Chris, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Did you hear the beginning of the broadcast?
No, I just got on about 30 minutes. But I had to jump back on. So I got just a little bit.
So have you ever heard the husband store analogy?
Yep, I watched that exact. I heard Mo and Catherine's response to their husband story. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, they was she already knew what was gonna happen, and I said well, actually Catherine walked out with a man, but Mo didn't. But oh well. So you got anything on the topic, Chris?
As far as the husband story, or just period?
Just period.
You had made a comment about women posting every day on social media. I did want to make a comment about that.
I know where you going with that one.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm
about. Now I'm not talking about if this is your business. I'm talking about if you just a regular woman and you don't have a business related thing. So maybe I should clarify that before you get in your feelings and start cussing me out. Now, if
when you said that, I don't think it's, it could be business related. It could be related to your brand.
But I'm just saying, if you don't have no brand at all, that's how we looking as man. Put it like that. Sorry, I'm gonna clean that up before you start going in, because I know.
You said say that last time again.
If it's okay, if you're not business related on social media, if it's not part of your brand or your business or who you are, if it's just part of you, just on that, just to be on that, a man's gonna vet you out. Like, why she wants so much attention if it's not business related. So that's basically what I should have said. So you wouldn't take it a different, or women that's watching this that have a business and branding themselves on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform, don't take it the wrong way, because really, if that's part of your business, that's part of how you get your coins, and more power to you. But if you're just doing that for straight out attention and validation, then it's a different story.
I mean, but who's to say part of her brand or her business isn't about, her image or how she's taking pictures or whatever? You don't know what she may be doing with that. So I think it's a very thin line to judge somebody that posts every day that may be posting pictures that seem to be, promiscuous or out there, whatever. And it could be something that's pertaining to her brand, or that's just who she is and what she represents. I didn't necessarily agree with that piece.
Well, I'm just saying. But as a man, we do the picking for the wives or whatever you want to say, and I ain't trying to be smart, but I'm just saying that I'm just going from a man's point of view of when we looking for a wife, we already placing you in that title before you even know it. So if that's part of his deal or no deal, that my wife is gonna be on social media every day with her brand, he gonna say I'm cool with that, or she's just on social media, period, without a brand. A lot of guys gonna say probably no to that because they want their relationship eventually to be private.
Can I just say something, Chris?
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Hey, Chris, I got a question for you.
Chris.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
I have a question for you. Okay, say for example, right? You see she's constantly posting, pictures of herself dressed promiscuously, or just dressed to the point where it's like you start to raise a red flag. And it's not about business. It's not about fashion. It's not about a clothing line. Like, every minute that she's posting something that has nothing to do with it to be business related, she's doing it for the likes and for the attention. What would you say about that?
Right. So that's different. What I was saying was, if she's posting pictures of herself daily, I think if men are doing the research, they will be able to discern whether this is business related or just to get attention. So I think that is something that definitely needs to be looked upon deeper, because I think with Instagram, for example, everything is very visual. So if you're just scrolling through and see somebody with a promiscuous picture, you automatically going to assume that she's just out there, she wants likes, attention. But looking a little bit deeper into her profile of what her brand is about, you can determine whether or not that's business related or not, or whatever. I'm just saying this as an example, but it's on the other end, if it is
just for the attention, just to see how many likes. And because I know someone who's on Instagram right now, she sells lashes, she sells hair, glasses, everything. So she posts a lot of pictures of herself in the lashes, in the lipstick, in the shades, and she's a very beautiful woman. But if it was just the average guy scrolling through, he would think, "Oh, she's just looking for attention." But her brand is all about promoting things that enhancing her beauty. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we just saying, just like a man, and this is for everybody. It's just like if a man leading with his wallet, towards a female, you're gonna think like, what the hell he's insecure about if he's always too generous. And if a woman's over sexualizing herself, you're gonna think like, was she, and not saying at first you might be cool with him taking you out, but if he's always leading with his wallet and not trying to let you know who he really is as a man, eventually that's not going to turn a woman on. And the same thing for a woman, like you said. And I'm not saying, because I said, man, we are very territorial. So if we're picking you to be a wife, we're definitely going to go through your page to know everything. And if you're selling lashes, we're going to find out you're selling lashes. If you're doing this, if it's for your brand, we're definitely going to figure that out. If it's not for your brand and that's all you're doing, then we're going to say, where's this insecurity come from? Do I want this to be, because at the end of the day, men want peace, not peace. And, we don't want frustration in dealing with somebody that's going to knock off our peace by posting stuff. And then we want our things to be private. So I get what you're saying, Chris. You right on nail on the head. I should have illustrated what I was saying earlier a little bit better, because I want everybody to think I ain't talking about all women. I want the all police over here. But I'm definitely, if a woman has a brand, there's nothing wrong with that. That's something that you have to, as a man, know that that's what she's about when you met her. You can't come in thinking you're going to change somebody, especially that's how they get their money. But if they come in and they don't have no brand and they just doing it for attention, eventually she's gonna roll with you for a second and then always think she gonna always try to elevate you to be better as a man, to the point that she's satisfied at. Because let's just be honest, we can be very we entrepreneurs and want to do better, but at some point, sometimes as men, we just want to just smell the roses, enjoy our woman, and just call it a day. We don't want to keep grinding all the time. So, and that's another thing. If we have a person that's going to be a helpmate to our program, not somebody trying to push our program to overdrive, so, but that, I know that's a little tangent, but I feel you, Chris. I understand what you're saying. Sorry that I didn't touch on that earlier. Mo, you want to add anything?
Yes, I think that, okay, I understand what you're talking about for the attention seekers, but for the business women, I think that should be right under the name at the top. This is a business, this is the phone number, this is where you can reach me. If you're advertising it should be pictures of what you're advertising: lashes, hair, purses, shoes, makeup, whatever. It should be very clear on that page. This page is about my brand and my business, and your contact information should be at the top.
Yeah, because sometimes people, like Chris, what you were saying, some man could be led on and jump on there right away, but be honest, if he's not going to take that much detail, then really he ain't taking a woman serious anyway. A man that's taking a woman serious is going to go deep in that page, just like a woman go deep in a man's page as well. And it's really, social media is like your resume for life, period. Even vetting out partners, jobs, all that. So, anybody else want to add anything on it? All right, well, we're going to move on. And the next thing I want to talk about is the truth is women should be more simple than men. A lot of times I feel like, I don't know if y'all remember this, because we mid-age, but back in the day, you used to talk about people's private parts. And now I don't even think they even use that word private parts, because, if you go on social media or just social media, period, anything, dating apps, people's private parts are just out there. And I ain't, booty out, all that, I know you don't see the ultimate private part, but I feel like women back in the day when Ebony and Jet magazines, only so much things you could see on those magazines. And I felt like women was whole sacred back in the day. And now you go to Walmart and you'll see yoga pants all over the place. It just looked like some colored skin, skinny pants. Really, that's what it looked like to me, because you can see pretty much everything. Back in the day, women used to like literally have to cover themselves up. And I feel like now it's like women are more simple, not simple as what they used to be back in the day. And I feel like it's hurting men to make their own decisions of who they want to be with as well. And then making women feel like the more they show, the better, but really the less you show, the better. So I'm gonna take it with Mike, since he's the man on the floor, and we'll go around to the women. How you feel about that, Mike? Do you feel like women should be more simple than men?
Come again?
Do you feel like women should be more simple than a man?
I think more women should be more simple towards men, but the whole thing is with the whole, yoga pants and shit like that. When I first seen it, I was just like, it's actually leaving me in a point of confusion, because it's like, okay, what is it exactly are you looking for? The shit is showing me one thing, but then if I come to her on some like real mature shit, like if I come to her and I say, hey, what's going on? She might get the wrong impression, like, why is this dude talking to me? Even though you may look pretty, I'm not sure how you're taking it, because you figure more is less is more. There might be a specific guy that a chick like that could be looking for, but it's only going to leave me in confusion. So at the end of the day, I just won't be bothered with her. It sends off the wrong message and mixed signals to me, to be honest with you. I mean, I know she wants to look sexy. A lot of women want to look sexy, but it brings up the wrong image and perception of how she would like to be treated. So rather than me put myself in that situation, I would just leave her alone altogether and find somebody a female that might be in a business suit, because that's how I rock. If she's in a business suit or she's wearing casual, then I might approach her. But if she's got like any kind of form of like yoga pants on or anything like that, no disrespect, I'm gonna think your cooter stinks, and I'm not gonna want to be bothered with you.
All right, Chris, you got anything to add on? Do you think women should be more simple than they are these days, or you think what they doing today is okay?
I mean, it just really depends on the woman. I think that you can't lump all women in the same category. I mean, you see some women who still walk around in slippers and what you're calling yoga pants, because yoga pants are different than the stretch pants. Yoga pants are a little bit looser. So I don't think that that's what you're referring to. Stretch pants are a little bit tighter. You can, see everything. But I really just think it's how the woman carries herself and how it looks on her. Not everyone can wear certain clothes. And I don't think it's anything, because I think it's just a matter of defining what's too sexy and too promiscuous. If it's something that you would wear out to, let's say, a nightclub, but you're going to Walmart, that might be a little bit extra. But I have worn some jeans, some heels, and a top, not like heels, but I've had like some boots or something on. And I've gone into a store like that because I like wearing heels. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't have a mini skirt on. I don't have extremely short shorts on or anything of that nature. I know what would be presentable, and I don't want to wear something that's going to pull too much attention to myself. Because I think when you start dressing a certain type of way, yes, it will pull in the wrong attention. But I think women, how they dress, it does bring out a certain level of confidence. I just think that it's a very, very, it's a thin line on what you consider too sexy and what's not. And to be honest, I feel that some men who are insecure, I don't want to say the word insecure too soon, but some men, they have a problem with women dressing a certain type of way. They have some insecurities. Maybe they feel threatened, or that, somebody may try to pursue their woman. As long as the woman is not disrespecting her man in public in terms of how she's dressing, I don't think that's a problem. I think that every man wants to have somebody look presentable out of public and not just wearing anything. I think as Mike was saying, like a business suit, because that's how he dresses. He wants somebody that looks conservative, professional. That's fine. But if she wanted to wear a dress or leggings or some heels, that's going to be a problem because maybe he views that as overly sexualized. So I don't know. I think it depends on a man. It depends on a woman.
I'm gonna say this comment before I move on to Catherine. I feel like a woman should dress as if she's already taken, regardless when she goes places. It's a time and place for the yoga pants. I mean, if you want to be in the gym or whatever you're doing, even be conservative in there. But if you want to attract a man off of your legs and your butt, then that's gonna be sending the wrong type of attention in the first place. But I feel like a woman should always dress as if she's husband ready, even when she has a husband or don't have a husband. That's just my opinion. Catherine, what you got on that?
I think I think it just depends on the woman or whatever. What a person decides that they want to put on, to go out is that person's decisions. Because if a woman, let's say some women have, their body or their physique is really, nice. If they're fully clothed and they wear something, and if it's covering their whole body, and it may be fitted to their body, you can see their shape. Would that be wrong? Would y'all perceive that as wrong if that lady, let's say she have on like a bodysuit, and she's not showing any skin, and she's fully covered, but it's fitted to her body because most bodysuits are, and her figure is, you can see her figure in it. Would she be wrong for wearing that out? Would you not want her to wear that if she's fully clothed and she just have that type of physique or body that it just shows?
You want to go, Mike? Well, for me, I feel like go ahead, Mike. You want to answer that question?
No, please, repeat that real quick.
If she had a bodysuit, if a woman had a bodysuit and it was showing her whole figure, would she be wrong in wearing that?
If she was showing her body and whole figure, that depends. What is she looking for? Does she want to be kept, or is she just doing that for attention?
I mean, she could just bought the outfit and thought it was nice, and if most bodysuits are fitted, when you put it on, it's fitted. If it's tight to your body, and she has the type of body that it show all her curves. I mean, would y'all still look at that as that she just trying to flaunt and show her body? If that's just because some people, even men, it's some men that don't matter what they put on, their body is so nice that you can still see it. If they even have on a button-down shirt, long sleeve, a coat jacket, you can still see their body in that. So with that still, and it's women like that they put on, they can have on a skirt and a top, and and they're in this business life, but you can still, if it's fitted to the body, would that still be like doing too much because you can see it through their clothes?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead, Mike.
I honestly think that it would send off the wrong signals or the wrong impression to each and every different individual. Like, I mean, to a regular individual, he'd be like, okay, yeah, well, she looks nice, but I'm still not gonna fuck with that. That's not what I want. Because if I know if I'm with her, regardless, even though women do get approached, I wouldn't want nobody disrespecting my woman if I'm with her. And sure enough, if I was with her and we both getting on each other's fly, I wouldn't want to have myself, looking like, okay, yo, that dude is with what I'm saying? He's with a chick that's overly exerting herself. She's open. Usually from what the generation that I came from, if you with your lady and your lady is respectable and you with her or whatever like that and you dealing with her, you want other people to respect her because to other things other than just what your man.
So let me. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to make sure you understood what I was asking. So I'm not asking if she's showing. I'm saying if her body is fully, she's not showing any skin. She got on maybe like a nice bodysuit, or she have on a skirt that maybe even come down her knees, but it is just tight fitted. Because there are clothes out here that women can wear that, you know, because I've seen them even on jobs that I've worked at. A woman could be dressed business-like and it may be fitted to her body, you know, and is she still wrong? Is she still looked at that way? If she wear those type of clothes, and even it just might be more fitted, but it's more business-like, because they got business suits that's like that just really fit, and if the woman have a nice figure or whatever, if that's what she wear, then all her suits are really fitted to her body and show everything. Would you still say that about her as well? Would you feel the same?
No, I mean, as long as I know that it's professional and that she carries herself well respected and that she has the ability to not be giving off those kind of signals, then, you know, let her do her.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this for me. It depends on the energy. If the energy is like attention, because just like you said, Catherine, when I was married, I was accused from my wife of, you know, you wear too many tight shirts at times, or just people always looking at your body. And I'm like, well, you're right. It don't matter what the fuck I put on, my arms and my shoulders are gonna show. Unfortunately, it's been like that since I was a little kid. Not to jump off the topic, but one time a teacher gave me a award for best physique when I was younger. So at the end of the day, like, don't matter what you got on, sometimes people can see your physique, but it's the energy you carry about your body that will throw people off, and especially men. And if a man seeing that, you know, you use that, you lead with your body more than your personality as a woman before he actually gets to know you. Like, if I meet you and you wear bodysuits because you're coming from the gym or wear this type of attire, then that's just you. But if I see that you lead with that just because that's the end all be all of your body, then it's a problem. And that's just with anybody. Any gift you have, if you overuse it, people are gonna look at you kind of like, you know, like what the hell he or she doing. So, you know, Mo, what you got on this? Because I know we spent a little bit more time on this one.
Well, just briefly, I will say that I personally never liked yoga pants, stretch pants, leggings. As far as just running out everywhere you go, you got on these yoga pants and stretch pants. Because from a female perspective, it could be like, well, you don't even know me. I could be very classy and sophisticated. But I feel like you said, men are simple. They might just think, well, you look like you advertise. How my grandma used to say, you look like you're advertising. Even if you're not, that might be the furthest thing from your mind when you left the house, but that's just how it looks when you go out in the street. So I'm not really into it. I think it looks like it's just for attention. But again, it depends on that individual person.
Y'all turn YouTube down, man. Turn YouTube down. Now, I got another caller. I got YouTube on. I gotta turn it down. Turn it down. Mute.
My bad, man. My dang PlayStation remote had died. Didn't turn that off.
All right. So you I guess you've been following what we talking about. What you got on the yoga pants and dressing sexy and stuff like that?
Come again. Say that one more time. My bad.
What do you got on when women go out with the entire dressing sexy yoga pants and stuff like that?
If that's something my woman has been doing throughout the whole course of our relationship, if she's gonna go out, you said if she go out in yoga pants?
Yeah, I mean, how you feel about
with
it?
me or by herself?
It don't matter. Like, how you perceive when you go out and you see a woman with yoga pants? Do you look at her as like she's wifey material, but why she got that on? Or do you look at her? Even do you prejudge her off of what she has on, or you feel like she's doing too much?
Honestly, I just be laying way back from the judgmental part.
Okay.
If she got on yoga pants, she might have on a really nice sweater and some boots. Like, if I could just tell the yoga pants, like, it's one thing. Like, okay, she didn't execute what she was trying to do properly. If she got on yoga pants, maybe it's like 4:00 in the afternoon, and people just leaving the gym after work. So it's like all circumstantial. So it's like, I just try not to judge people's situation based on what they wearing and what they got on. Because I'll mess around and pop up in the after hours with some flip flops on.
That's very rare.
What'd you say?
I said that's very rare. That would be nice if everyone did that. They just said, I'm not going to judge you based on what you have on. But a lot of people, I think 80% of people do.
Yeah, they do, but that's not how I live my life.
That's it. But we cut off Chris when she was responding to that.
Did we? I'm sorry, Chris. What you had as Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mo.
She about to slash my neck.
Straight cut me off.
Fucking gonna be a cancer in this mother. Hold on. Go ahead. I ain't trying to get my ass beat.
Right. Okay. No, all I was saying was what Jack was saying about the arms and the chest. Some women, we do have, a lot like a business. So you may have some hips, you may have, but it's nothing wrong with that. That's how you're made. So whatever you put on, whether it's a skirt, a pants, yoga pants, jeans, people are going to see your shape. And I don't think we should downplay our shape. I think there's a line between over-sexualizing your shape and being able to accentuate it. So I know for me, I don't wear baggy clothes. I appreciate my shape, so I'm going to wear things that complement my shape. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think it's part of the communication between the man and the woman, if they're dating or looking to pursue something further about dress, what is appropriate, what that other person feels is crossing the line or not.
Facts. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about and we already are on this topic, but are women truly built for all this attention that they get on social media or just attention, period? Like, I know some women are attention seekers or attention whores. That's what they call them. But because I think the same thing that make a woman smile, make a woman cry. Because I know some women that I know personally, they'll throw up a post, and if they don't get enough likes, they'll take it down. So I'm gonna start with probably Skylar, since he just joined the line. How do you feel about that? Are women really built for all this attention?
So I feel like, and this I'm gonna go all the way there. So I feel like today's society has constructed a realm where a lot of women feel like they need to do that to get attention from these dudes. We doing this whole hate culture, like, oh, I mess with white women because of this, that, and the other, because black women don't do this, that, and the other. So black women are trying to say, hey, I got the same sexy, I got the same whatever. But it's not really about that. Like, our sisters are beautiful. You don't have to do that, but if you do that, I'm not judging you for it. Now, if you on there showing private areas, like on the general Facebook, then that's a whole different conversation. So it's a lot more to it than I have time for. So I'll come back to me in a minute.
Catherine, what you got on that? Are women built for all the attention that they get?
I guess it just depends on the woman because, if they posting it, you know what, because if they're posting a picture and then the guys are going on there liking, most of the time, I can truly say this because I'm on Instagram and I go through and I see, and there's women that's like small, real skinny, that don't really look that nice, and they get like a whole bunch of likes. I don't see really heavy women. If they got on something and they body does not be nice, they get a whole lot of likes too. So people just, I don't know, the whole like thing is kind of crazy because it seems like the less you have on, the more likes that you get. So maybe they doing it for the attention they get out of it and they like it. So I guess they getting what they like, and it don't matter if they small, big, or whatever, because like I said, I done seen some big women that bodies was not nice at all that get a lot of likes just as well, because the ones that's fully clothed don't really get as many likes. So if you get on there and you got all your clothes on, majority of the time they don't like as many of those pictures, but the ones that actually showing skin and stuff and showing their bodies, no matter what their size is, they get a lot of likes. So I guess they get what they get out of it, because otherwise they wouldn't post it. So yeah, I would assume they getting what they want. That's why they continue to do it.
All right.
Hey, Stack, may I jump back in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I guess what I was trying to get to was that Aisha Curry post where she's sitting with her legs crossed, she's nude. But it's like, I get tired of men trying to judge women because they doing stuff like that. Oh, you got kids? Like, that picture was totally tasteful. It was about skincare. She was showing off her skin. And they like, oh, if she had, then people, I see people say, oh, if she has something going for herself. I'm like, something going for herself? I'm like, Aisha Curry got plenty going for herself. Before Russell, not before Russell, before Steph, she had plenty going after Steph. She got her own books, her own cooking shows, whatever. So I just be really careful on how I look at women and perceive women based on what they're doing. Now you can tell the difference between women doing it for attention and women who are doing it for business.
Okay.
That's it.
Go ahead, Chris. You got any add?
I think that your question was more so about whether or not women can handle the attention that they're getting.
Because sometimes I feel like the same thing that make a woman smile sometimes make a woman cry. If they don't get enough attention they used to getting, or eventually if they start, and let's just be honest, everybody started to, stop being the person that's it. Just like Halle Berry back in the day, she was the it female back in the day, and now she's, probably off doing her thing, but I don't think a lot of times people realize that attention eventually will go away. So how do you feel like how people handle attention, or how women women built for all the attention they do get?
Yeah, so I think that it really, like I said, depends on the woman. If there's a woman who is craving attention because she has low self-esteem or doesn't have confidence in herself, and she needs the validation or the approval of social media or man, absolutely, that will crush her when she doesn't get the likes or the follows or the response that she's looking for. But a woman who is very clear about who she is, about her purpose, about what she's doing, and it's not about the attention or, getting approval, I think that's where you ask, if she's built for handling that attention or not, or lack thereof, because, a lot of times people are very visual. And as much as men want to say, absolutely men want a well put together woman, somebody that's, going to be something, that they can bring home. But at the end of the day, they would be lying if they said they weren't visual creatures. Men are very visual. I think with women, it's just all about their security, how they feel about themselves. And that's how they would either, be able to handle the likes or dislikes. Okay.
So, Mo, and I'll go to Mike last. Mo, how you feel about that, handling the attention for women? Is it something that can make them or break them too? Because, like I said, same thing, make you smile, make you cry.
I would say overall, no. Like Chris said, if you're confident in your purpose, et cetera, then I feel like those, you're not out here for the likes anyway. But for the insecure ones, is just out here. If you don't like this post, I'm taking it down. Like Mike said earlier, no, I don't think they can handle attention because, like Mike said earlier, what are you looking for? Like, you're gonna get attention when you come out with some cutoff shorts in the summer. You're gonna get attention.
Fact.
But you're gonna get the attention that you wanted. Did you even want any really? But you're gonna get some, because then when you get as the male, you get the response of, "But what are you looking at? Why are you talking to me?" Well, you should have known you were gonna get attention when you looked out in that outfit. And
facts. Mike.
So I'll say no. They can't handle the attention that they think they want.
Okay. And Mike, what you got on that?
Me, I want to agree with everybody here, especially Mo when she mentioned that. I've seen that happen a lot of times, like mainly in the summertime. You see a chick that probably ain't got no car, she'll be walking around, or she gets out her car, she looking fresh to death, got everything, what I'm saying, out there, or maybe well suited to her body. But I'm just going to say this, and I'm only going to say it once. depending on how you dress, whether you dress, fresh to death, you want to, show everything out there. You want to be out there. You want to work your stuff and everything. You want to shake what your mama gave you. You want to put it out there, or, you may be advertising or whatever. Just be prepared and keep in mind that depending on how you dress and how you present yourself out in the public, be prepared to deal with the consequences behind that. Because a lot of people will try to judge you. And like you said, that, depending on how you carry yourself, as far as in those kind of situations and other situations, it can either make or break you. Some people, they may like it, and they're like, yeah, I love it. I'm getting all the attention. But then when that other attention comes, aside from the positivity, the negative attention, they got to be prepared to take the good with the bad.
That's facts. And I want to go around on the panel on this one. And if Instagram had a dislike on top of the likes, like YouTube do it, will you see less people posting, you think? And I'll start with Chris.
I don't know if I would necessarily say that less people would post. I think they'd be more particular about the things that they do post. I think that people be more insecure maybe about what they post, just be more aware about it, because they know people have an option to dislike. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me either way. I think people are going to always have some type of hang up about social media. But I really do think it would affect women especially those women who are seeking the validation and the approval. I think that it would affect the type of post that they have.
Mike, what you would say if they had the dislike post, put the dislike on Instagram, would they be likely not to post now, or what? What you think will happen?
I think that they will actually be more careful and more mindful of what they post, because just like that, as quick as you could get a like, you would also get a dislike. It could be from haters. It could be from, people that seriously disagree with the person's post. And that thing's kind of like in nature. I think if there was some more dislikes, depending on that person's morale, to be willing to take constructive criticism or be more mindful of what they post in. Then you got the others, they just figure, hey, I got so many likes, I don't really give a fuck. You could hate, you could hate, that kind of shit. Like, I think that's how it would honestly do it. I think it will break them to a point to where I see all of these likes. I like that I'm getting it, but what is that? Who did that dislike come from? They're gonna want to know where that came from, because it's something that's out of the norm to what they're usually used to. So I think that in the case would have them have some kind of concern, depending on how many dislikes that they got. And I think if they if that one individual that used to get the likes, if they were just straight up getting dislikes back to back, I think that shit would crush them. Seriously.
Catherine, how you feel about that?
I agree with what he just said. Yes, they had the dislike on there. They probably be more mindful of what they post, because they might, think, well, if I post this, maybe somebody might not like it. So I agree.
Skylar, do you think the dislike would make a difference? We got Skylar here. Mo. We go to Mo.
I agree with all the above, but I think that would actually make them want to seek validation even more. Like, okay, well, you gotta like it, so let me try even harder. So I think that would definitely backfire, and yeah, it would crush them.
So
if they got a dislike,
do you think
probably take it down?
You think if it showed the person that dislike, would they not be their friend no more on Instagram?
Yeah, they probably would.
Hey, Skylar, you there?
He probably out to lunch real quick, or
He say he's still on the line. Oh no, he ain't.
He'll be back. He probably got you on mute. He's probably handling some shit.
I gotta hit him up. Skylar, call back in, man. I guess I dropped off on you on accident. All right. So the like button. So what if they took the like button away? Would you still see people posting at all? I'll start with Chris. If there was no,
yeah, absolutely. I think that they would definitely still be posting. I think they would be more reckless or more vulnerable with the post, because as any social media app, it's very, people are on there watching it. I mean, it's a lot of people just watching our social media that don't do likes, dislikes, nothing. They're just watching it. Or they may, you could just think about your own personal habits. You may just be on Facebook scrolling, Instagram scrolling, you're just looking at images and pictures and content, and may not even, hit like or dislike or whatever. So I think people will be a little bit more free because they know, people are going to be watching anyway. And I think it just also depends on the content. If it's somebody, business related, for example, you don't necessarily have to get a like to get a business lead. Somebody may hit you up in a DM, then they call you and say, hey, I want to work with you. So a lot of likes don't necessarily lead to business. So I think it really just all depends on the person. Again, if it is a woman that's seeking a lot of validation, that might be an issue for her, because she needs to know somebody liked my picture, somebody thought about me enough. But then for other people that are using social media for business, for whatever, blogging, they may think of it as, hey, this is still an opportunity to showcase my business because people are going to be watching me regardless.
All right. What you got, Catherine? If they just took the like button away, would you see a lot of posting?
I think it'd be possible, that they probably will post more.
They'll post more? Damn.
Yeah, continue to post more pictures because they don't know that nobody won't be able to, like the photo. They probably want to post more pictures.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Mo?
I would say, along with what Chris said, I agree with that they would do more business, but I would say that it would filter out some of the attention seekers. I think that it would be more people just there for business, or they just want to post just because they like posting, not because they need a like. But I think that it would make the people there for likes scratch their head, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get validated if I don't have a like button or a heart or anything like that?
Mike, would they lose their mind? What's going on? What you think, Mike?
Man, I think they will lose their mind and be doing more shit, kind of like that chick that put the fucking glue in her hair and shit, off of some attention. Like, the world is a big place, and like Chris said, you never know who's watching. And I think just the fact that maybe if they actually did get that kind of attention in their life, how would they turn out later on? Like, would they turn out just as bad, or would they want even more attention? And don't let there be a fucking view counter at the bottom of that screen, because they will be more than likely, if the views ain't there, they'll be paying attention to that view counter, that little shit that goes up in numbers for every individual that visited their page.
Facts. All right. So another thing I want to know on the ladies is, do you feel like, and I'm going to start with Chris, because I've seen Chris and Catherine's social media. I know both of their social medias. Do you feel like your social media is husband ready? And I'll start with Chris. Like, well, I know it's your brand, so I think it is. But how you feel on your social media, like attracting a partner? Do you feel like it's very appropriate, or do you feel like it hurt other women? Because I know that I don't think it hurts you at all.
You said hurt other women?
Do you think? I mean, I think your social media is husband ready. Like, if you were to be dating somebody, they'll look at your social media and be like, oh, she's good to go. Just like how a job do a background check on a person, good to go. But do you feel like you see other women's social media and it's kind of like to the point that it may turn men off? Do you experience that by looking at people that you may know social media and be like, I see why she probably ain't got no man? Do you ever come across something like that?
I've come across, profiles like that, but I think where I'm at right now in my life and on my social media journey, I'm very particular about, what I'm following, because, it's usually related to my brand or something that I'm trying to connect with now. So it's very rare that I'm seeing someone that, would kind of be out of the element of what I'd be doing with my own personal life. But I have seen profiles that I think might mislead men or make them feel, give them the impression that they may only, be wanting to be a hookup or just wanting a lot of attention or not really prepared to be a wife, because a lot of men, they don't want to feel as though their woman is on display for the entire world. They want to have some exclusive, some privacy with their mate, and not to feel like they're using social media to, attract other men. And as far as my page, I do believe that it is, has been ready. I think that's what you said, husband ready.
Yeah.
I'm not posting certain pictures. I think somebody made a comment like, you only post like from the top up. I don't really post a lot of body shots. I will, but it's not for attention. It may be me showing, making a point. Like if I posted something, but it's very rare. I think you made a point earlier about if men want to do the research, they can, go through your social media. So you will find posts that I might have posted last year, but it's not. If you read, the content, you'll see that it's all related to brand and business.
Okay.
And I do a lot of encouragement for single moms as well. So a lot of times, but since my posts are more geared toward that element, I don't really have a purpose to be posting, pictures like, sexy pictures. That makes sense.
So while we on the topic, I know you spotlight single mothers. Do you actually, before you spotlight them, do you vet them out, vet their pages or vet their history before you put them on your platform?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. You know what? I guess I have, but I hadn't been really vetting them out to the extent that I do now. And I recently had a situation where I had to step back and start to vet, because I want to make sure that our purpose and our messages are in alignment, because that's a representation of me. So yes, I will research their page. I just recently started sending out surveys and like a questionnaire asking them a little bit more in depth about what they want to talk about, a little bit more about themselves. And then I also have conversations with them prior to us actually getting together. So absolutely, I think that's really important to get to know people before they represent on your own personal platform.
Could I just say something too?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I appreciate that, you have to go in with this platform or whatever like that. And I understand that you have a business and you consider things to be professionally. Just make sure you weed out the ones that only, represent negativity, because you don't want that shit trailing back to you, especially when you have a business and you want to see it thrive and succeed. That's all I'm going to say. Facts.
I think she covered that, but facts, that's always, something everybody want to look at, Catherine, do you feel like your page is husband ready, and do you see females in your circle or females that actually feel like they social media or their Instagram shoot them in the foot when they try to vet out and find a husband?
I think my social media, in my own thinking, I think it is husband ready, but I must say, I don't know if a man would think that, because I don't have no one but men following me on Instagram. So I don't have any female followers. I don't allow females to follow me on Instagram. So I don't know how a man would feel about that, because none of my friends, no females follow me on Instagram. So a man might take that if he looks at it and say, well, damn, she ain't got no females on here. Like, where are female friends at? So I don't know. I think it is, but from what I've learned tonight, just hearing what people think about just social media, maybe it's not for that reason.
Would you ever consider that maybe some women may be like intimidated by, the way how you have your leadership skills and, things going for you, that they might want to have that set an example for them, and that's why they might be intimidated by you?
I don't want to. I don't know. I wouldn't want to say intimidation. I'm just a really, really private person, and females. I done had my issues with women, and I'm just really private with my stuff and careful with females. I don't really deal with a lot of females. Most of my friends that I got one, maybe two really cool homegirls that I talk to, and that's who I share between my sister and these two other friends that I've been knowing for years, and they don't even follow me on Instagram. So I had a Facebook. On Facebook, I had more, female and males on Facebook, but I don't have a Facebook right now. So Just to answer the question, yeah, I don't think it's for no. I don't think look at it as intimidation or what. I just don't do it. I just don't. That's for my own reason. And my pictures, I don't post anything, but on my Instagram with pictures of myself and my kids, something like that. I don't have a whole lot of posts since I've been on there, and I don't think no woman want to go on there and see my pictures anyway. So why would I even post it? So put them on there. I'm not posting anything on there. Every now and then, I'm just keeping it active for some things that I plan on doing for myself here coming up. So I try to put something up there here and there, but just to show that I'm still being active on there. But yeah.
So
a man might look at that and be like, "Well, now she got only men on her page,
Yeah,
what she doing?"
So, will you think if you get in a serious relationship, how would you move on your Instagram since you only got men following you?
I mean, if my man tell me he got an issue with that, the Instagram can go. I'm not really that. It's not that serious for me. Social media. If I really get somebody, and if he's that bothered by it, I'll just get rid of it. It's not no big. Because right now I'm not using it. Now, once I get my business going, what I said I want to do, and I will talk to him and say, hey, I'm gonna put it back up, so I'm gonna start using it for that. But since, like I said, the only thing I post is here and there, pictures of myself, pictures of my kids. I'm not going. It's not something that I really need. Not really. To be honest, the only reason why I go to Instagram is I follow some people like D.L. Hughley. I like people I like stars, and these other people that's on there is probably guys I met. And they be like, "Oh, do you have an Instagram?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got an Instagram," and then like that. That's how it come about. But I'm not on Instagram for anything else but to read stories and try to keep up with the news and stuff and see what's going on. That's what I use it for.
All right. Well, Mo, what you got? With I don't know, Mo, do you even got Instagram or social media at all?
Exactly, just like he said. I do, but I'm rarely on there, so I would say that it's probably not because I don't post on there. The only thing I have on my Instagram is one headshot, and everything else is plates of food that I've made over time, but it's nothing that I use regularly. And I do, like Catherine said, I might follow people that's act or comedians or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Do you see that women in your circle? Do you see they social media and you look at yourself like, damn, she messing herself up by trying to even get a man because she's doing too much? Or do you see people that are like, do you see people hurting themselves on social media in your circle or females that you know?
Yes, I see a lot of. But again, it depends on what are they looking for. Do you just want? And then they call it thirst trap. And I'm thinking, well, if you post that type of pic, that's the attention you're going to get. But as far as finding a husband, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot if they're trying to find a life mate.
Okay. All right. Mike, you got something, man, on this one? I know you done jumped in a couple times.
Man, that's a tough situation. I don't know, like, in today's age, it seemed like a good thing when social media was popping up. But it's definitely a double-edged sword. And a lot of people, I've seen it used for businesses and stuff like that. But what I noticed that a lot of individuals are using it for other extracurricular activities. And, I just try to keep it on the positive side. Like me, I promote, health, generational wealth, all that, But a lot of shit that I see nowadays, it promotes a lot of negativity. Especially with the ladies, man. I feel sorry for them, but then again, I don't feel sorry. I mean, if that's what they do to get their shit off or whatever, then that's all cool. Just don't bring it my way. That's what I'm gonna say.
So, Mike, is when you meet a young lady, how do you go about vetting her out?
The way how I go about vetting her out, like I say, like you said before, I do the research. I see what kind of shit she's into. And I actually look up on a social media page. If she's really like about attention and flossing a little bit too much with a lot more than usual exposure with her body, and she's not promoting anything with her business and everything like that, that's only going to make me think that she's more concerned with the attention that she is actually for the relationship. And I don't really want to waste my time with that because I consider that to be a time waster. Like unless it's business or unless she's trying to, sell ladies another clothing brand or trying to introduce the fellas to what they should buy for their ladies or whatever like that, then, I don't really want nothing to do with it because it's going to be a waste of my time. she's going to be more concerned with the likes than in the attention rather than the relationship. So it's just going to be all for nothing. All of my time and energy and efforts and resources being poured into that shit, into a loose bag with holes at the bottom. I don't want to do that.
All right. So this next thing I want to talk about is you can't have it all, and to get something you never have, you gotta be willing to do something you never did. And I know I've been married before. Catherine been married. I think I don't know if everybody else been married before, but I know when I was married, what I did when I gave up my social media period because I wasn't doing no brand or no business. So I gave that up. A couple of things, like I said, I gave up hanging around certain friends, certain single friends, stuff like that. And I'm gonna start with Chris. Do you feel like you got anything that you would have to give up if you was to find a husband that you do in your single life on a daily basis?
That's a great question again. I'm trying to think because I am trying to live my life from a marriage-minded point of view because I'm an expectation that I will marry and I will have a husband. So I know I've been single, of course, I've never been married. And, I think about that a lot. I'm used to living on my own. I'm used to kind of get up and going and doing things on my own. So I probably would say, some of my compromise would be, really, I guess I'm not saying ask permission from somebody else, but really, keep in mind that there's enough in my life and that I need to, I may have to give up just this whole, I can just, if I want to, lay at home all day and not do anything, I may not necessarily be able to do that. Maybe my husband may, want us to do something or me to cook for him or something. Or, I still go out every now and then with some of my girlfriends. They may say, hey, let's go out, on a Saturday night at the last minute. I have the ability to do that now, but if I'm married, that may be something that I have to say, hey, is this something that is this cool? I don't know. I just feel like there may be some of those things that I may have to communicate more clearly to a husband because I can't just assume or just get up and go anymore.
Yeah.
There's certain lifestyles that I have been used to. And as far as social media, I don't use it in any way to, attract.
Yeah.
I'm not attracting men through my social media account, but I'm not using my social media account in a way that I'm looking for a man. I use it for the purpose of my business. If a man sees something on there and he likes it, I'm pretty sure he will reach out. Those are some things that I would also definitely want to stop and know and, make that very clear that anybody who, connects with me through social media, that they realize that I am, I'm married or single.
Okay. Another thing that I didn't say that I did give up myself before I moved on to Catherine, I didn't do the boys' trips. That's one thing I didn't really do when I was married. I might did like a weekend, I would say a weekend something with my brothers, but I didn't get on a plane. I would say did not get on a plane to use vacation time to get away from my wife. Period. That's just, I felt like wherever I built up my vacation time, when I was willing to take some real vacation time, it was about me and her. And if it was a weekend, because she did some weekend things with her sisters and her friends. But when it came to like vacation destination things, for me and my marriage, when I was married, I felt like that was time for me, wife, and the family. It wasn't time for me and my guys. So that's one thing. Another thing I gave up. So, and anybody want to make a comment on that, make a comment in a second. But what about you, Catherine? How you feel?
Can you give me the question again?
I said, what would you be willing to give up that you do on a daily basis when you, if you ever got married again? Or, how would you move? Because when I was married, I gave up, hanging out with my single friends, going on vacations with my single friends. I gave up my social media at the time because I ain't had nothing going on it. And then I changed my damn phone number too. So none of the old women could call me. But what at this point of your life, what changes would you have to make if you had a husband right now or a significant other?
Well, I'm really boring right now. I don't have anything going on, so I wouldn't have nothing to give up right now. I don't do anything,
So you already ready, huh?
Yeah, I'm bored. I don't have anything going on, nothing holding me up. I mean, the only thing I do is like the gym and back here with my kids. So I wouldn't have nothing to get. And if he wanted to, anything that if I did do something and he told me that he would like for me to stop or something, I would definitely consider it, whatever it is I'm doing. And if it's something that I know that's not really that beneficial to me, it's just something that I just may be wanting to do on my own, then I will be willing to give it up.
Okay. Mo, what you got?
Well, I would say if he make sure, can you hear me? I want to make sure I'm not on.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so I would want to talk to him about the financial thing because I really want to do everything to start my businesses up that I'm working on. But if he had an issue with social media, I'd be willing to give that up. I would just use it for business purposes.
Okay, so you don't see nothing in your life that right now that you do on a daily that might bother the man that you might be with in the future?
Not at the moment.
Well, it sounds like we got some private women on here. I mean, do any of y'all go on girls trips and stuff like that? Do you feel like?
Oh yeah, see that? I don't have girls trips, so
Okay, so yeah, that might.
I'm pretty much a loner, so yeah.
I don't think women understand the effects that girls trips can make on when a man vetting you out. I mean, I don't know. Mike want to speak on that, but sometimes girls trips. It's nothing wrong with girls fellowship, but sometimes I feel like that could be making. Well, for me, I just said like when I work hard, I want my time for me and my woman on vacations. How you feel about that, Mike? Or that's just too much?
Man, I agree with you 110% because think about it, if you and your lady or you and your significant other ladies, if your men were taking trips with just the fellas and y'all was at home and y'all worked for a significantly long period of time and it was something that you may or may not have had your heart set on, wouldn't y'all feel some kind of way? I know I would personally, coming from a man's point of view, if a chick was to take trips with her homegirls and shit, and I'm like, I've been working because I'm a hard worker. But the only thing is I really wouldn't want somebody else to be taking time away from what me and my significant other would have. I mean, how would y'all feel about that, everybody?
I agree with that.
I do too. I wouldn't want it. No, I wouldn't want that.
What about you, Chris?
I'm a little different. I do think that balance is extremely important, especially when you get married. I don't think that a woman or a man should completely give up their friends or being social with their friends because they're married. Now, I do think there should be some parameters around that socialization. I don't think that you should be, if you have all single friends and they all want to go out to the strip club every night, I definitely don't think that that's appropriate. But I really do feel it comes down to trust and communication. I know plenty of married women who take girl trips, and I think that if the relationship has enough trust between it, that should not come in between. Because I think absolutely, I agree with what everyone says that you want time with your husband, you want time with your wife. Absolutely, hands down, 110%. This girls trip or going out with your friends is not an all the time occasion. I think every now and then you need a getaway. Your wife is going to need a getaway. You're going to need some space. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, maybe I've been single too long or whatever. That's not bad. Everybody's different. But I really do think balance is really, really key. I don't think you should be spending every single moment of your time with your husband and wife. For wife, I do think going out every now and then with your friends, especially, but with the level of trust and communication is completely acceptable.
Yeah.
Can I chime in on that for a second?
Yeah, go ahead, and I'll chime in on it too because I want to say something.
Okay, just briefly, I did just hear something about that yesterday, and there was a married man. He was responding to some people that spoke to him about different dating situations, and he said that it is. I mean, again, not on an everyday basis, but it is good to have time with your friends, and you come back to your mate, and then friends. Like she said, the balance. So I agree with that too.
Yeah. What I want to say is, like when I was married, my wife, if she didn't do nothing I would say she did things for the weekend and came back home. One time she went to Atlanta, then I went to Philadelphia to see my cousin, but it was just a weekend thing. We wasn't taking our valuable PTO time to spend time with others. So for me, I don't mind her getting away for the weekend with the girls and stuff like that. But I have as a man, I have a problem when I build up all this vacation time and I'm sitting at home and we using our vacation time unbalanced. Now, I understand what Chris saying, but I feel like married women that's been married over a certain amount of time, then the girls' trips are cool. But if you're married within the first 5 years, be honest, those first 5 years should be about you and your husband. You can do weekend getaways and girls' nights out, but I feel like it's a slap in the man's face when he's working his ass off and y'all don't spend y'all PTO time equally together on like destination trips. That's what I'm talking about. But that's just me.
Can I say something on that? And I think that Chris is right about that. You do need that balance because that was a problem in my marriage because like I said, I don't have a lot of female friends and I never hang out a lot. That was like some of our issues, just to be, sharing that, that was a problem. He used to tell me I didn't have my own friends. I needed to have some friends of my own, and then he wanted to go out and be with his friends. I'm like, well, shit, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, and you going out, and that was then, but I would do it different now if I got in a relationship because I know better now. So you know better, you do better. So then I didn't look at it that way, but I would still be suffering in that, and because I don't have a lot of female friends, so I don't hang out with females and stuff. And so since the friends I do have are guys, of course my husband ain't gonna want me to go hang out with no guy. I'm like, well, this is who I talk to. That's wrong. So I guess I gotta start opening up and being more open to be with females because I probably will run into the same issue, and if I get married again, because then they're gonna be looking at, well, where your friends at? Because I know I'm gonna go over here with my friends. What you doing?
Facts.
Yeah.
Any more comments after we said everybody said what they felt? You got anything, Mike?
No, not really, man. I mean, everybody pretty much covered what I wanted to chime in on. And I think that it definitely winds down to the respect of the relationship kind of deal. Whether you're willing to put in that time, are you truly vested in that relationship? Sure, I understand there's a break period in between, but I definitely think it more towards respect for the relationship on both ends.
All right, cool. All right, so one thing I want to add on to the conversation is when women experience a certain type of man or a certain type of experience with the man, does it actually hurts her in the long run? Because I know, we're talking about these likes, and I did say earlier that a woman's prime is from 18 to about 33 when she actually, and I feel like women do get better in age as well, but I feel like that's the best time to try to get pair bond with a man is from like going into college, after college, and before you turn 30, before fertility hit you at 35. But the question I have for women on the panel is, have you had the experiences of dealing with men that actually had you chasing for that same experience before in your life? I know like Rebecca Lynn Pope, she said she used to date a lot of ballers, and she's a motivation speaker on YouTube. But she used to date a lot of ballers and guys flying her here, flying her there. And she had to get to the realization, like, these guys got multiple women and I'm just a number. So do you, and I'm going to start with probably start with Chris. Do you feel like experiences with men that women chase this experience forever because they experienced this at 18, 19, and all the way to maybe their 30s of these, experiences with, dealing with guys as maybe high value men, but these guys are really just playing with you. But at the same time, can that imprint you that they can destroy you to have unrealistic expectations? Let's start with you, Chris. Have you experienced like dealing with a man that's very high value and then he just really wasn't about the right? And did it ever, imprint you to a different way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to talk on it a little bit?
I mean, it may be that somebody presented themselves a certain way, or I think what you're trying to say, or I'm just making sure I'm understanding. So if a guy, for example, maybe in my past was somebody who you're saying had money.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is like, what I'm saying now is a lot of times in the world right now is a lot of women, and what they doing on Instagram is a lot of women are clout chasing, hoping they hit up a baller, hope a baller jump in their DM, and if the baller do jump in their DM and fly them out or do this and do that with them, then it becomes a woman's norm because they experience that season of being with a man, and a man did, X amount of stuff that really a once in a lifetime probably like type deal, or maybe a couple of lifetime type deal, and then that imprints her to think that I can get this all the time because I got it before. And have you ever experienced of dealing with somebody that was high value and then you realize this is not the normal?
I think that yes. Answer the question. I have dealt with somebody that might be considered high value, but I really think it's about your standards. I think that everybody has different standards. So there may be some women that like men who make a certain amount of money or dress a certain type of way or have transportation. Maybe it's not a certain type of car, but they are independent. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So if you do end up coming across a man that may not have some of those things, and I know I'm just speaking about materialistic things. Of course, they have other qualities, but they may feel as though they're dating down and that they're not, the quality that they feel that they can pull or deserve because of the type of men that they used to pull back in the day. I don't personally operate like that. I really now in my age look a lot at the character. I pay attention to that more so than what the person can offer me based off of maybe experiences I even had in my past or when I was a lot younger. Because I was looking for materialistic things back then. I was looking at how he looked. Was he cute? Did he drive a certain car? How much was he able to pay for certain things? How, though that was some things that I was focused on back then. Now, my focus is completely different. So I don't necessarily I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily dating down. It's just that my focus is changing the type of men that I'm interested in because, where I'm at, the stage that I am in my life is different.
So would you say you just more realistic about your expectations now compared to when you was younger?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say I'm more realistic. I think maybe back then it was, certain type of level of fantasy because of what you might have seen on TV, what you might see in reality shows, what you might see other women doing, and you want to be like that. And this is especially really relatable to the topic that we're on because a lot of women who are out here on social media who are showing off to get attention, a lot of them do not know themselves. They don't love themselves. I was one of those women. Well, this is before social media really became big, but I was seeking a lot of that validation. So I really understand the story and it does speak to me. And so, so it was just a different approach at that point in my life.
So your turning point Did you get therapy or what did you do to turn it around? Because I know some young lady is probably listening right now or going to listen to the playback. What did you do to actually get realistic of your truth of, what you want in a man and what everything ain't glitter ain't gold. So what did you do to get the mindset that you have now?
Absolutely. Well, it was a healing process. I always say healing is a process and a journey. It's not a destination. I think that we are always healing. I don't think there's ever a time where we're going to be completely healed. But what I had to do was take a break. I know that the last really toxic situation that I was in, I took a break from that to refocus myself. And so in that time, I did go to therapy because I found myself, being out of character a lot. And it was just, losing myself. I found myself being lost in that relationship. So I was one of those type of people that looked at therapy as taboo. I thought that, I don't need that. I'll be okay. Let me talk to my girlfriends about it. Let me read a good book. Let me, do whatever. I'll be okay. I'll be good. But I knew that there was I needed to get some other things out from, that I knew I couldn't handle on my own. Yeah, I did seek therapy during that time. I did a lot of soul searching, journaling is something that is very healing for me. I also started to focus a little bit more on my own personal goals. So around that time, I also released my first book.
Okay.
I started like business, some businesses that I was pursuing at the time. So yeah, just really turning the focus back on myself, because that's ultimately what's going to allow you to start,
rebuilding,
finding who you are and loving yourself.
Facts. All right, Mo, you got anything on this one? Have you ever experienced of dealing with a high value male, or a life changing experience of dealing with a guy that put you on a big old pedestal and did things for you, but then it was just basically la la land, and eventually, did he imprint you to always think that I can get that same type of man, or did you get realistic with your expectations?
I think it was
I think every woman that had, I ain't gonna lie, I think every woman that's in their 30s right now then had this wow moment that a dude then did this and then did that, and then at the end of the day, this thing either gonna make this woman or break that woman, because some women are still chasing that damn experience they had when they was 26 and they might be 36. So, my bad.
I agree with you saying about that generally. But for me, it was probably like I didn't have that in the 20s. I probably had that when I was around this age now. So I don't know. I can't answer it all the way.
All right.
But generally speaking, I think that yes, you probably did have that fantasy and you think you could get it forever. It's not going to last forever.
All right. That's cool. Because like I said earlier, there's no man tree. You can't go pick a man on the tree and say, marry me. A lot of women that's getting all these advances for these likes, they don't realize you just like in football, basketball, you got the players of the 90s, you got the players of the 80s, the players of the 2000s. It's going to be another group of players coming up real soon. So, you better retire while you can, while you're on top, and walk away with that yellow jacket when you can. So, that gold ring, I guess, that's what we want to say with the women. What about you, Catherine? You had experience dealing with a man that actually, imprinted you to the point that you like, oh, well, I know you was married, so is it any different how you experience men, or do you expect a certain caliber of man of your history, your life history?
No, I don't have anything for that one right there, because I don't even think I ever had a high value man. So
what about just a man? What about a man just putting you on a certain type of pedestal, or not even being high value? He could just been a guy that did a lot of generous things for you that made you think like every guy got to do this. Mike, I think you got to go to mute, man.
Can I add something real quick?
Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt, Catherine. Are you finished with your statement?
Oh yeah, I'm done. I said no, I didn't. I've never had it before.
Okay.
I just wanted to add, it's like Chris Rock said, though, once a woman gets to a certain level of treatment, though, she expects, I feel like she feels it's going to be this level and above. She's not going to accept anything less than the good stuff that she's had from a man that was generous.
Yeah, because, I'm going to piggyback what you're saying about Chris Rock. He said, men don't go back sexually, women don't go back in lifestyle.
Yes.
So a lot of times when women used to a certain lifestyle, and unfortunately these likes and the delusion of, and it's crazy because I'm gonna give y'all an analogy and an example. Snoop Dogg been in the game for a minute, but technically Snoop Dogg then did videos with mothers and daughters. It might sound crazy as hell, but just think about it. The videos he used to do in the 90s he probably was doing it with somebody's mother that's now in 2020, 21. He got the mama that birthed the child out in the 90s. Now her daughter grown and he in the video with her. So it's kind of crazy, but I don't think people look at it like that. That's why I said women need to like move quickly, because man are replenishing from the mama, now the daughter in the video. You never know, but I guarantee you it's somewhere just like Tom Brady. He won a Super Bowl with a guy this year, Antoine Winfield Jr., and he played against his daddy in college. So he's winning championships with a guy daddy he used to play against. So I don't think a lot of times we think about, you get these advances from man, but you can't chase that forever. You at some point you got to get, like Chris said, you got to get realistic about your expectations, because when a woman's seen it all, it could actually either make her or break her. And I met women in my life that seen it all, and they're lost because it's hard. You can't jump in the DeLorean and time machine and go back to the past. So, what you got on that, Mike?
Man, you gotta come back to me. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. But I think that's one thing about this stream that's very important, that a lot of women, I feel like, the basketball wise, the shows that actually, the Real Housewives of Atlanta and stuff like that, actually got women feeling delusional. On top of them following their stars, they're trying to be a star themselves when they're on social media. And I feel like that delusion is kind of going to keep that person thinking like, I'm not going to settle. And they got to be realistic about what they should be expecting, because when you get to the top, it's not really all that what it always out to be. You know what I mean? So, even when we accomplish things in our life or we buy new things, eventually we get used to it. But I'll tell you one thing you don't get used to is loving somebody that's gonna lay next to you at the end of the night and be that one and the only in your day one. Because I know Catherine said her parents. How long your parents been married, Catherine?
Since they were 16, they in their 70s, so over 50-something years.
So like that right there, your mama probably laugh at lights compared to one light. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying it's gonna, for real, I ain't gonna say it's been easy or but 50 years, man, that's a legacy. That's something that one day you could always be like my parents. My dad died in 2003, but my parents were married for 30 years. Same thing with Chris. Her parents was married and got reconnected after 20 years. So a lot of times you see experiences in the world that shape you for who you are as a person, and you'll see things like, damn, if my parents reconnected like Chris did, it show you that it really ain't shit out here sometimes. So when you do meet somebody with good character, good charisma, good, just a good head on their shoulders, you need to take them serious. You got anything to add, Mike? You back? Thought I heard.
Yeah, I'm back. Man, it does send off a lot of, a lot of good signals to know that you can move independently on your own. Dealing with somebody that's a high value, that's on your level, it makes it all worthwhile, rather than deal with somebody that's not on your level that just causes all kinds of fucking headaches.
So, Mike.
I'm sure. Huh?
Now, I was asking about when a woman get blueprinted by a man in her early ages, and she chases that forever. I don't know if you heard Chris' testimony, but she said she had to get therapy because she was into a toxic situation, and it wasn't really pretty much going nowhere. So now she thinks different about how she wants to date moving forward. So, do you think
serious impact of who you last dealt with, or how that person imprinted you in some kind of way? I'm sure we all got imprinted in all kinds of ways dealing with previous relationships or somebody of higher value, and depending on how it ended will ultimately determine how you move, depending on if you work on yourself or not.
Facts. I got a new caller on the line. Will, you here?
Yeah. What's good, y'all?
Hello, Will.
Hey.
No, Will.
It's so funny hearing this dude call me Will. Like, I just don't understand. Like, that's been my name for like a whole lot of years, but this dude never calls me by that name. So excuse me for being like kind of like shocked when he says my name.
Well, my bad, Tate. Damn, fuck.
Thank you. Like, dude, what the hell? But I got you. Thank you, Brian or Stack.
Oh my God. Everybody gonna know all my real government names on this bitch. All right, now, you got anything to add on the topic?
I mean, see, I'm coming in a little late, so forgive me. But I mean, I think to the last point that I heard, you know, relationships have a way of definitely pointing you in different ways. And I mean, how you break up with somebody. I mean, especially if you have like what I call love for that person, regardless of how they may have took it or received it. If you have love for them, I mean, yeah. It can make you kind of jaded, man, you know. Or if, you know, it's just like they say, you never know what you have until it's gone. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can really say, because I ain't hear the whole discussion prior to that.
Well, we was basically talking about likes leading women lonely, and a lot of times, man, and we know you're a man, when we meet women, we vet out who's going to be a potential wife and who's going to add to our program. We don't want women that's going to take away from our program as a man. And we actually look at their social media, and their social media is not promoting business, but it's promoting over sexualizing themselves or seeking a lot of attention and validation. We already throw up the red flag. We might go on a couple of dinner dates with them, or we might even have sex with them, but we put women in a different category when we do the background check. And I don't think a lot of times women understand just because we smash don't mean we want to, be with you. And a lot of times I think women, unfortunately, women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of marriage. And a lot of times women in their 30s will say, you're playing games, but when they was in their 20s and they had time to vet out men and pair bond, they was playing games and doing what they do. But when they realized that the man may have the power of marriage and they're not getting what they want after the man, they kind of call the man out. So, but at the same time, I feel like when women move a certain way by getting the advances of social media and all that extra, they're shooting themselves in the foot. So that's basically what we was talking about.
All right. I mean, you got a lot of different avenues, so I'm gonna try to address them as best as possible. So,
yeah.
For the whole social media thing, right? Like, I feel like this, and I get both sides too. The first side is my social media isn't always a reflection of myself. It can just be how I be thinking or how I feel. Sometimes somebody just want to be in the bag and just be drawn and just say whatever. It's just like it's a release, right? And the problem is the people who becomes your audience doesn't know one way or the other which side that they're getting from you. So whatever you're putting out becomes that side that they say, okay, this is how this person is. So I get that. And then I also get the other women who say, like social media is only for my friends. And also it's for me to be who I am and let my hair down and be the authentic person that I am. And typically with those type of, people, you have somebody who they don't post all of that stuff. They're not really doing it for the likes because truly their social media circle is people who they actually know or who have come in contact with them. So it kind of makes it a little bit different. It's a difference between somebody who has, let's say, 3,000 or 4,000 friends as compared to somebody who has 200. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, which are you getting? And it's hard to really tell until you really, had a conversation with that person. The whole thing about when we were younger, the whole playing the games, I'm going to be honest, I think most people continue to play the same games they played when they were either in high school, the early 20s, and even into their 30s, and then on forever. Because it becomes a cycle, you know what I'm saying? We like to always say that, like, once I get married, all right, I'll put these games away and all the other stuff. But the problem, I think, comes out of marriage is the comfortability. Like, you feel like, well, I got who I'm going to be with, so, hell, I'm bored. I've been getting the same whatever, so, hell, why not continue with the game? You see it in different ways, you know what I'm saying? Dudes still out here, they got a badass wife, and they still got to cheat on the chick. I bring up the Jay-Z, Beyonce joke. You know, Beyonce's a bad chick to most dudes. Niggas say he'll marry her, be like, yo, I'm done. But yet you have a Jay-Z who's like, yo, I can still get Becky with the good hair. Why? Your chick making, what they say, $1 billion on the elevator? Like, damn, dog. Like, you gonna fuck that up over some, you know, like, for what? And then
I think, honestly, I think it's because when a lot of people do that shit, like, no disrespect, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think when a lot of people do that shit, they get so uncomfortable. And like Stack says, with the you know, the shit with the elevator, they figure, hey, I could go ahead and hit this elevator.
Oh shit, what happened?
And you know what I'm saying? Nothing.
You blanked out for a second. What you say about the elevator?
Nah, I said that, you know, a lot of times when people do that shit and they get comfortable with their significant other or whoever it is that they're dealing with, that they're really gaining, you know, good speed with, they get so comfortable that what they do, they get right back in that fucking elevator and they hit that button and then they realize they were already at the top and they can only go downhill from there with the bullshit.
Right, listen, that's the same thing I'm saying. I mean, I got the whole thing with the elevator. I'm trying not to take it to that point because that was a different conversation right there, you know, but it's the same thing. That's what I say. I don't think nobody necessarily puts those games down. They still play them. It's just how you play them and who the person you're with, how they adjust to how you are. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, man. It's just a cycle, man.
Any of y'all ladies? Hold on, I want to leave the ladies out. Any ladies got something to comment what he's saying? Mo, Chris, Catherine, anybody got something to add on?
What's the last thing he said?
No, he was basically talking about guys will get a good wife and then they'll go out there and still cheat like Jay-Z do with Beyonce.
And also, the same thing for the women. Hold on, bro. That's what I was saying. My point is, people still play those games even after marriage.
Right. So basically, are you saying that people just not gonna
be
faithful no matter what? It don't matter if they get the best thing out there, and then they still gonna.
Out there.
They're trying to see what's on the sixth floor.
All games is not about cheating. Some games is just about manipulation. Let me see what I can get out of this situation.
Right.
That ain't cheating. You know.
And what are you getting out of the situation? So when you say that, if it's not that, what do you mean? What do you think?
Like I say, my point is, people get so used to the everyday, the cycle, the habitual cycle of life. I go to work, come home to dealing with whoever my spouse is, to dealing with the kids, to then going back to work. Like, it becomes the same thing. That whatever was in you when you were 18, 25, 35, continues throughout the rest of your life until you get to the point where you just can't do it.
That routine. That routine.
Correct.
So are you saying that will lead you to the possible cheating or the going on there liking pictures and things like that? What you referring to like that?
Right. So here's the thing, right? Just like how back in high school it was like the end circles, the end crowd. Like everybody wanted that. Why? Because everybody knew who those people. That's kind of like what we have now with the lights. You know, you want to be the popular girl. You want to be the best cheerleader. You want to be the whatever, the drill team captain or whatever. You want to be that chick. That dude want to be the head of the football team, the head of the basketball team. That's what them lights came in. It was just back then, it wasn't light. It was the kudo. Now, it's the light. That's why I say, whatever was in you at 18, it just follows you throughout life. It just changes. The game never changed, but what it is has changed. Like, before, it was like, okay, you got all the popularity. You know, we had the, Miss Popular. Mr. and Mrs. Popular was like in my high school yearbook. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's like on Facebook. How many followers you got? How many, if I go hit a thing, how many subscribers you got? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. That's what I said. The game don't change.
But you could change yourself, and I know Chris, like, I don't know if you heard what Chris said about she had to stop doing certain things and just get therapy after having a long relationship. It's like, it's all about the self the self-love more important than anybody else's validation. Like, you worry about other people's validation, you're gonna be lost. You know?
Right. Well, see, at the end of the day, that's why I said you do it to a point where you can't do it anymore. That point ain't always because, oh, I can't keep hollering at different stuff or hollering at different chicks. Somebody want to say it that way. It gets to the point where this doesn't give me any fulfillment.
Yeah.
I need something else. I need to stop doing this to get to that next level. And once you get to that point, that's when things change. But until that point happens, it's the same stuff. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same out there. I mean, it's nothing that we don't know, but we just have to educate ourselves and get therapy and understand what we need in a long run for ourselves. Like I always tell people, find somebody that's going to compliment you, not complicate you. And that's why we do the background check as men when we're looking at women's social media page, because if we're going to vet out and we want a wife, we already got that position in our head of what we want. We just got to fulfill the position like a job. So the background check are looking at your social media, how you move spiritually. Are you submissive? Are you fit? Are you cooperative? I mean, all the traits that I might have in my program might be different than Tate's program, might be different than Mike's program. But I don't think a lot of times women don't understand what disqualify them is. These likes and the thirst traps disqualify you a long way, because at the end of the day, a man don't want to compete with a computer. He don't want to compete with computer love. Period.
And here's the thing too. It's the same thing you said. Just like a chick that's going to get paired to another chick, what the last dude like ain't gonna be what the current dude's gonna want to like. So you gotta adjust. But the thing, to your other point that you were saying before that, you gotta get to the point where before you go to therapy and get the therapy or get whatever it takes for you to change, you gotta own up to like, yo, this is dysfunction. This is not working.
Yeah.
And until you can say that, like, because a lot of people don't want to come to that realization. They don't mind going to therapy because therapy is cool. That's the damn thing. Like, yeah, I got a counselor because it used to be you didn't want to go to psychiatry. Now therapists is like, oh yeah, that's the thing to go to. So now it's like you got to be able to say, yo, this is messing me up. I can't just be cool with going talking on the couch, but I don't ever get to the the crust of what it really is or the core of what it is. You got to get to that core and be like, yo, this is what it is. And then until you can get to that point, you're just gonna live a lie. You're just gonna be paying for that lie now.
Lie starts with likes. Sometimes.
You reminded me of something.
Okay, go ahead, Mom.
You reminded me of Aisha Curry at that time, that moment in time when she said, well, I'm not getting enough male attention. So you have your one like, you have your husband. Why isn't Steph's attention enough?
Because it wasn't enough. That's not what she was used to.
And here's the thing. She like Stacks Elevator thing. You on level 5. And here, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say how I really feel. Bitch, you on level 5. You got a Steph Curry. Go fuck around and see what nigga you get after him. Cause I guarantee you, that nigga ain't gonna be no Steph Curry. It's only a handful of them niggas, and they already took it.
And if they do,
you gamble that shit out. Yeah, let's see what you get next. Guarantee you, even Steph Curry ain't gonna fuck with you. And that's his nigga brother.
and what you saying that I'm gonna jump into this, and I wasn't gonna bring it up. I left it alone. But when women think sometimes unrealistic, what happens? They experience the guy that pumped and dumped them. They experience the simp. Then experience a money man. They experience an old man with money, the old man treatment, and then they experience the blue pill guy turned to red pill, the guy that they want to go back to that was maybe a good guy, but now he understands female nature, and then he's waiting for you to come back so he can play you like you play him.
Okay, so then so men don't be being realistic either.
Yeah, you're right.
I just can't sit here as a woman and just sit here and listen to y'all say all of this about what women and what we ain't, what we done, how we men are unrealistic too, because there's things that they think they can get out of a woman that's not realistic too, because some men ask for a lot out of a woman and they not even bringing what they need. So I think men can be unrealistic as well.
So,
it goes both ways.
So hold on, Tate. Hold on.
Hold on, Tate. Have nothing to bring to the table. Those are called say the male.
Hold on, guys. I want the ladies to answer this one. What since she said,
Hey, Sex, hold on. Hey, you know whoever that last person was, you are absolutely right.
okay,
Niggas ain't shit too.
let me ask this question though.
I want to give her.
Yeah, give her a props, but I want to ask this question since she brought that up. What are men unrealistic about? And I'll go around the table so I can hear every woman say what it is, and we can answer it as men about what we unrealistic about for our expectations for men.
I just want to say this real quick, and it's going to be brief, and I can move on to the rest of y'all. Unrealistic about, okay, like with the grass is greener thing. You had this situation here on the left, but then you thought, well, on the right it might be a little better. Let me go over there. Then you want to circle back to the left again. So the same thing you're saying about the women. You thought it was so cool over there, but you want to come back.
I mean, but what we unrealistic about though, like, you know.
Some men are unrealistic. Oh, I tell you,
I want to know. Yeah, I want to get the details. Shit.
Yeah, because I think men are unrealistic about, because some men, the way, and I know we shouldn't do this, but we got some men, because it's just the truth, that they don't look like what they want to get for a woman on their side. Like, you know, and I know we don't want to bring looks to that, but you got men that don't have their bodies in shape, they don't look good, but they want somebody looking like cool. Like, let me see, Rihanna, these all these just some Beyonces and stuff like this, and we looking at them like, you want your woman to have all of this, but look at you. What do you have? I see it all the time, guys. Oh, I want her. She got to be fine. She got to have this. She got to have that. And this, and then you looking at the dude, and you looking like, well, really? Well, look at you. What you asking for? All this, you don't even have yourself. It's a number of things, and it varies by the man. So I can't really just like pinpoint, but certain men, because every man, just like every woman ain't the same, every man ain't the same. So what one man might say, you know, they want from a woman, you know, we have to see what that man is asking. So sometimes it's just like, because I listen to Kevin Samuels, and he say, well, women, while they look and stuff, they want to get this man that look like this or make this kind of money, and they don't even look that way. But that goes vice versa for a man. It's some men that don't have the looks or don't have the money capacity, anything like that, to be trying to get this type of woman either. It goes both ways. So I just think, you know, it's kind of wrong, and that's what I struggle with Kevin about, because he put everything on the woman. Like, this is what the woman wants. This is how she do it. They want this way, and they want this way, and they crazy. They out of their mind. Well, it's some men out here out of their damn mind too for the shit that they want. You know, and the things that they ask for out of women, because at a certain point, now if you dealing with that woman that's younger, now I get it. Like, she's a younger woman, she might be willing to go through all of this stuff with you and go that extra mile. But a woman that got some miles on her, and did her thing or whatever, she not, and been married and all that, they're not going to be open to do all those things that a man, you know, is asking to do, unless that man is bringing some of that same things that she wants too. Because sometimes men ask for things that they're not even willing to do themselves, and that's unfair to expect so much out of the woman, and then the man is not bringing that same thing back to her, you know. And a lot of men expect that. They want their woman to be this and that, and do this and do that, but damn.
Yeah.
Hey, what are they doing?
I mean, honestly, I think it's from an expectation point of view. And usually when a man is demanding like that, providing that he already has those qualities and he's actually bringing something to the table, then, you know, for a person that could be overly demanding may actually be falling short from what they're trying to get or demand from that other person. Like, I know if I came with some shit to the table, just like say, hey, babe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got your Mercedes-Benz, right? But if I already had a newer model Mercedes-Benz, I'm going to be like, yo, she already bringing that to the table, so let's see what else I could demand. What do you want from me? Oh, yeah, I require a man have a job. Okay, cool. How much you make? Or I make, you know, 100K a year. Okay, cool. Now, how much you make? Oh, I make 97. Well, baby, you got to get that 3K up. You know, we got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a competitive thing. I can't demand from you from what I don't have. You know? And I think it's a lacking kind of thing. And I think that's another main reason why a lot of people get cheated on, too. They feel like there's something there's something that's missing. So I got to have it, but I don't know how to go about it, so I'm going to demand it from you because I'm lacking it.
I'm gonna
what I'm bringing to the table to fuck with you.
I'm gonna go to Chris on this one because she live in Vegas and La La Land. So I call it, well, it ain't La La Land, it's La La Land Junior in Vegas, right next to LA. Do you feel like a man, they're asking for too much when they're not giving nothing out, or having enough, to bring to the table? Or are they unrealistic about their expectations?
Yeah, I think so. I think that what's the term that says, how men can do something but women can't. So I agree with Catherine when she said about men who just, like women who are in shape and dress nice and are cute all the time, but you can't keep yourself up. So how is that fair? I'm not saying that women shouldn't, if their man is not, but I really do think that if you're looking for, if you need to, the things that you're expecting, like Mike was saying, you should be also putting those things back out there. But I also think some other things that may be unrealistic. This whole fantasy about, men just wanting to have, sex maybe 3, 4, 5 times a day, all week, like, not really taking into consideration that sometimes women may just want to chill, cuddle. That's still intimacy. There's other forms of intimacy besides, doing that. And I mean, I'm not saying it's not important, but I just feel like sometimes men are unrealistic when it comes to certain requests. Just women always being ready. Like ready for sex, ready for this, ready for that. And then when you want to turn it around on a man, it's okay if he's tired or if he's not really feeling up to it. He's going to watch the game with his guys. And the other thing is about men going out. If we as women said, oh, no, I don't think you should be going out with your friends. I think you need to stay up with me. You would have a fit. You would have a fit if some woman, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, said anything about your restrictions. But when we try to go out, it's a problem. That's you're doing a little bit too much. So I do think that there are some unrealistic parameters around, how men view, women.
Right. I think it's okay, go ahead, because after you finish this, one more thing I want to add, but you go ahead. I didn't want to.
I think it depends. Like, certain deals between, dealing with the boys and dealing with the men. Like me, honestly, if my girl tells me, hey, I don't really want to go out, and when she be like, oh, well, you can't go out, I'll be like, well, shit, I wasn't planning on going out, so what are we doing while we at home? I'm that kind of type. I don't really put too much emphasis on I want to go out so much. You know what I mean? Because then that leads to not saving money. You could do other things towards, making things work. And a lot of dudes, honestly, I don't think about sex a majority of the time. Yeah, I'm thinking about putting in that work, but not all the time. Because I know there's other things that require my attention. For somebody to be too focused on sex, like a majority of the dudes out here, instead of saying, okay, I'm focused on the sex, but where's the relationship going? How am I improving? How am I progressing in life with my lady? You know what I'm saying? Because as much energy as you putting out there, you're wasting your energy on certain things. You putting that energy into her, mind you, but at the same time, you're expelling that energy to where you could be putting that energy and towards other things to make it things actually work.
That's a good point. Go ahead, Catherine.
Oh, Stack, I'm sorry. This will be quick, I promise. So, but you know how we was talking yesterday before we got off the stream yesterday about the words, the affirmation and stuff, just telling a woman, telling a man or something. So I wanted to say yesterday, because I don't struggle. I don't have a problem with telling my man that, if we together, my husband, my man, whoever, we together, that, I appreciate him. And I appreciate him for being there with me and just, doing what he do. But if I'm doing the same thing that my man is doing, like we both getting up, we working, I'm going to work just like you. I'm coming home, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm washing clothes, doing all this stuff. I'm doing just as much as you. And if that man can't come and tell me he appreciates me, what do I look like going telling him, okay, I appreciate you for what you're doing? Well, shit, I'm doing the same thing you doing. So I think it should be, now who says it first, I don't care, but I'm not going to be the only one. And I've heard my brother said this, I heard another guy said this, and I heard my ex, he also said that, that's important. He said he'd never been with a woman that thanked him and said that they appreciated him. And so I'm thinking, if a woman is doing the same thing that you are doing, she's working and she's being a housewife and she's getting out working a job, she's working and coming home. Why, if the man ain't saying it, why should he expect the wife to say that if he's not saying it to her?
Well, I'll say this, Mike, before you say something. I feel like relationships are about having a playbook. You got to have a playbook of how you're going to work. I don't know if like my dad worked, my mom's housewife. They had a program of, when we had to be in bed, me and my brother, and when they was going to do what they do or whatever they was doing, because they used to, I used to see them setting up in the living room, they about to kick in the living room, drink, whatever. But it's about a program and the understanding of the balance of what y'all expect, what y'all expectations on both sides. So I feel like a lot of times when you meet a woman or be with a woman, you're gonna go through the honeymoon stage. But at the same time, like me, when I was married, I ain't gonna lie, I told my wife at one point I was sex hungry like a mug, because it was the first lady that lived with me, because I didn't do the shacking thing. But for me, I was already thirsty, and she lived with a couple of boyfriends before we got married. So it was different for her. So I had to understand how she, how sex, go for her. For me, I'm like a kid in the candy store. I'm ready to have sex every day. So I had to get to the point when I feel like I was like, you know what? I just, as long as I don't go 3 days without some type of intimacy, 3-4 days without some type of intimacy, then I'm gonna feel bad, because I'm a young man, because I got married in my 20s. So, but I had to come to a realization of that, and we had to be communicated about that, because if you don't communicate about that and you expect things, then you create your own monster. So
that didn't answer my question. That is not what I asked.
What you asked?
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked.
No, I was just speaking on.
It's a double standard. It is a double standard, because that's not what I asked.
What you asked?
About the words of affirmation, and if it works just like the man, why would if the man is not telling the woman that he appreciates her, why does the woman have to tell her man she appreciates him?
I was just, hey, my bad, Catherine, but I was going generosity from, I was talking about what Chris said and Mike said and everybody else said, but my bad, I'll let Will take over on this one. Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna say it like this, right? Mm-hmm. And you're not gonna like this answer. I'm gonna give you that preference already. Sometimes the bigger person in a relationship is the one who does things. And in that point where you say, hey, I'm doing the same thing as you, why can I get this? Sometimes what I have experienced personally, and then also what I have seen, sometimes you got to suck it up and just do it. And you also don't do it in a way that it's like you're doing it, but you're doing it like for a chore. It's like you gotta sometimes be like, listen, hey, we both out here working. We both out here getting it. I need to hear you tell me you appreciate it. You ain't got to say it today, right now, because I'm saying it to you, but I need to bring this to your attention. Right. And I get it, that you don't want to say that, but you got to. Because sometimes, I'm going to be honest, as a man, my mind is 3 steps ahead. I'm not worrying about today. I'm trying to make sure I put food in the refrigerator, our bills are paid, the kids are straight. Like we all got stress and all that, So it's like you got to sometimes stop us where we at and be like, look, I need to hear this, especially if that is your love language. You got to make sure that person understands. You need to hear that. And I hate when people say, I don't want to tell somebody how to be with you. If you're not gonna tell them, how the fuck they gonna know how to be with you? You the one that knows what you like. And
that's what I was saying. But that's what I was saying about having a playbook. You don't know the playbook if you don't know the plays.
I'm gonna address that. Nick, I got you. I'm gonna address that. So in that whole thing with the affirmation thing, you gotta lead with that, especially if that is your baby. If that is the thing that you need, you gotta lead with that, even when you don't want to. And the thing is this. And like it goes to like what Stack was saying with the playbook. If your man is lined up with his creator, like I'm a Christian, so if he's lined up with God and you telling him this, even though you hate to keep telling him this, after a while, it's one or two things are going to happen. This guy is going to talk to him and be like, look, bro, you need to listen to your woman. She's upset. She ain't feeling this because she keeps telling you the same thing. He's going to either A, change, or B, he's going to say, fuck it. And then you then can make a choice. But you can't get mad because he doesn't do it as much as you want him to. But that falls on you if that's what you need. Just like, let's say I'm going to take it to the sack thing. When he got married, right, I knew, because me and my cousin, we talked, I knew his sex drive. I didn't know his wife like that, but I knew when they had issues, what it came down to. All right, that's a conversation. And it's a realistic conversation. You can't be like, oh, baby, I just want to wear that ass out all the time. Like, no. What is your expectations with sex? Like, it's fun when it's in the first, let's say the first 90 days. Yeah, we're going to talk all that shit. But after we get serious and we kind of like, all right, really what's happening? Like, this is year 2, 3, 4. How are we going to have sex if we're going to be married? It's going to be times that I'm tired. I ain't going to want to do it. You going to want to do it. How do we deal with this? And you got to be honest. Both people, because I ain't going to lie. As a nigga, most dudes say that they never turned on sex. Me, I have. Because I was tired.
Yeah,
I ain't going to lie. Shit, it was a time recently, like within the last, let's say 5 years, where my girl had to damn near rape me because she's like, nigga, we ain't had sex in 30 days. Now, my purpose in that was I had a job where I was constantly traveling on the road. I wasn't even keeping up with times and dates. She damn near threw me on the bed. Like, nigga, I need it. Okay, get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was her saying it like, listen, bruh, what the fuck is going on with you? Like, it's been 30 days. Once again, she talked to me. Once she said that, I was like, all right, make sure I'm waxing that ass at least, on a consistent basis. Because that's what she needed too. So, like I say, I think that everything that, like, any problem that anybody goes through, is really talking. Talk it out. What do you need? Okay, what is their response to it? And don't get mad if their response isn't what you necessarily want to hear at that time. Because what you've been thinking about for like the first, let's say, 30 days, you give it to that person on day one. That's day one. You've been thinking about this thing. You got a different answer in different scenarios to what you already thought about. Let them figure it out.
Facts.
And then in time, it'll work out. If it's meant to be, it'll work itself out. And if it ain't, guess what? You did what you were supposed to do. So that way, when you go, you go. Like I heard, and I'm gonna say this last thing. I heard the point about people having these unrealistic expectations between man and woman. Like I think I heard about somebody saying like the man's body ain't or his physique ain't all of that. Yet he wants a woman to be a certain thing, right? Here's the thing: a man can only ask a woman to marry him, but if she agrees to it, she signed herself up for that. And it's the same thing for us. We can only fuck whoever says yes, let's have sex to, or yes, whoever wants to be with you. Can't get mad about somebody having that expectation because somebody has to either say yes or no to it. And I'm done. I didn't talk too much.
My bad. But premarital counseling that's the reason for premarital counseling, because you got to go in looking at not year 1, you got to go looking at year 31. You got to go looking at the things that's going to happen in the marriage or in the relationship or whatever. And you're not going to be the same person I was at. Well, when I was 28, I'm not the same person now at 39. So when I revolved with my partner, I had to express my communication with my partner. And that's one thing I think we don't really, we don't think about sometimes. We shy away from that, especially when we're younger. But now we're all middle age, and I feel like everybody got to live in their truth and speak on their truth on a daily basis of who they deal with. And that's the only way you're going to be comfortable of who you with. Mo, you have anything to add on that stuff?
Just briefly, I just wanted to say again that I think it's a double standard, and Will, or
yeah, that's Will. That's Tate.
Sorry, I wanted to call you the wrong name. Tate. But I just slightly disagree with the last thing because I feel like, okay, again, if you're looking like Fat Albert, I'm just trying to give you a visual, but you want Rihanna. Okay, if you get married, that's what you signed up for. But it's just the fact that, okay, what if I want The Rock? Is that wrong? I mean, of course, I'm going to try to stay in shape.
No, it's not. You can get The Rock if The Rock wants you. You can't get mad at the dude who. Okay, I'll give you a good example of that. Remember Tamar and what was the dude's name? Vince?
Yeah.
What was I say? That was an odd-looking couple to me. But guess what? She said yes. He had to propose to her, and she had to accept it. I mean, I hate to say it. Jay-Z wasn't on most people's on their list, like niggas they want to mess with because of his looks. They was big. But like he said, I say coochie down to the socks. And what he was saying was like, hey, I may not look the best, but my money is good. My game is right. Like I'm talking about his poetry. So I mean, that's just what it is.
But you know what though? Tate, outside of Jay-Z and all that, we talking about the average person, average dude out here. We ain't talking about who they end up getting. You know, we know what they expectations is. But, you know, and if they end up getting that expectation that they want, that's good. That's awesome. But I'm saying, we saying the ones who dating out here just dating and they looking past other women. They only expectation is this woman that look like Rihanna and you look like she said, what did you say, Mo? You said Fat Albert?
I said Fat Albert just as an example.
Yeah, just an example. They look like Fat Albert, but they want Rihanna. And they passing up all the women that don't look like Rihanna because that's all they want is Rihanna. Now, Rihanna might pick them, like you said, but I'm talking about just dealing with the fact that they want to get another type of woman. They ain't got it yet, and they passing through other women that pretty much should be on who they should be looking at, but they looking at Rihanna. You see what I'm saying?
Right? I get what you're saying, but here's a blessing, right? Everybody is given the option of having choice and preference. I mean, just because you're not somebody else's preference and vice versa, okay, yeah. So what?
But that was the unrealistic thing we was talking about, being unrealistic.
But why is that unrealistic? If you don't like let's just call it what it is. You don't like a fat ass dude. So when a fat ass dude come at you, you gonna tell him no. Like, that's just what it is. Like, hey, don't get mad about it, but don't sit there and say, oh, woe is me, I can't find no good dude. Well, what happened to the fat dude? Well, I don't like fat dude. Hey, that's what you chose.
I just want to say,
You don't want that nutty professor. You don't want that nutty professor.
I'm just saying.
My thing is like this. I get it. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a fat dude. Well, to some people, I'm a fat dude, right? They say my choices are limited. But nowadays, big dudes is winning, right? But I mean, it was a couple years ago, we wasn't. We was the fat kids. Uncle Eater's sandwich, everybody crack a joke on me. Now it's like, damn, I want me a big dude with the beard. Shit. I mean, it happens like that. I remember a few years back, the skinny chicks was the thing to look at. Now, we talking about BB Dubs. If you ain't perfect, I want a BB Dub. Like, everybody has their option.
Well, that's what's going on here now. If we talking about this thing we doing today about the stream, but the hoes is getting what they winning. Hoes winning. The ones who on Instagram that's showing their asses and doing all this stuff, they winning.
Let me tell you something though. The hoes may be winning, but guess what else they winning while they getting that attention? Diseases, and those are the gifts that keep on giving.
Yeah, that's true. I ain't gonna deny that.
You know what I mean? It's true. Let them win that prize for playing stupid games.
Listen,
everybody want to fuck them. Everybody want to fuck the hoes, but nobody wants the prizes that come right along with it.
I agree.
You know what? I just want to say something about that. I feel like women are always condemned because of their sexuality or how they present themselves. So it's not necessarily, I don't feel that they're always hoes. Just because a woman dresses sexy or she presents herself a certain way on social media doesn't mean she's fucking everybody. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's fair to say, because if a man has his shirt off on social media, that's okay. He's trying to show off what he got. But a woman, the minute she walks around in a bikini, she's a hoe, she's just a slut, she's just fucking everybody. She don't have any standards. That's not fair, and I'm just tired of people saying that.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, but here's the thing, right? It's true, but it goes for us too. Like, you see a dude to go out with a lot of women, y'all say he a player, and it can be a sister. It's the same thing. And I mean, I know it's not apples to oranges in that comparison, but I'm just saying, it's the same thing for us. Like, You look at a nigga like Stack, he be like, damn, he get all the hoes. You look at me, he be like, damn, nigga, where your hoe at? Nigga, you ain't got one hoe? No, you know, but it's cool. I'm okay with that. Like, you got to be okay with the cards that's dealt to you. And I mean, women sometimes get an unfair treatment in that. But here's the thing. The nigga that's going to be for you is going to know you're not a hoe. Every nigga's going to try every woman. Let's just call it what it is. But once she proves her self-worth to you, like, you can't call a chick that's not a hoe a hoe. Like, that's not going to work.
Right. And I want to clear this up because when I made that comment, I wasn't saying that they hoes, but what we were talking about today, that's how men are viewing them. They don't necessarily say, I don't feel like they a hoe, but they're looking at them as hoes. So I was just trying to say, well, if them are hoes to y'all, well, them hoes is winning. That's what I was trying to say.
And I have a question I want to know, because Mike said diseases. I'm like, what are they winning? Because you said that if they present themselves a certain way, you have a certain idea of, or you have a misconception, basically. You think that they out here looking for a one-night stand or whatever. You're putting them in the category. So what are they winning? Are they winning rings? Are they going home to mama with you? Are you wiping them up?
It's funny. Every chick that, like, and I mean, Mike can definitely speak to it because it was his point, but, like, here's the thing. The Bible says don't cover what somebody else has. You don't know what they're going through. I know a lot of chicks who get mad and say, let's say hypothetically, the high school hoe is married and now the good girl ain't married and she wants to be married. Well, you don't know what, quote unquote, the hoe did and who she was okay with being with and whatever. She, like I said, it goes back to play the hand that you're dealt. Like, you can't get mad about somebody else's situation. Like, it's almost like if you be who you are, what's going to come to you will. It's just a law of attraction. But you can't, like, manipulate the system to try to say, well, I want to get married because, like, you can't be like that. Like, everybody will get married at 25 and 30. Like, that ain't going to happen. Some of us, our marriage date is going to be 42, 48. Some of us are going to have 2 or 3 different baby daddies and baby mamas. And that's okay. Because that person is designed to be with you. It's going to hold you down. Fuck whoever else don't like it or, I want to be like, fuck that. Because you don't know what that other person went through. Mike, have your point. I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm talking too much.
I don't know if you can stop talking, but let's go, Mike. What you got? Well,
repeat that.
Nah, you said you made a point. What did he say, Mo? That Mike said, or I don't know. I think maybe Catherine know what he said about. No, they said that the hoes are winning.
But you said they get diseases, and I'm like, what else are they winning? I'm good. They got the gift that keeps on giving, as you said. But what else are they winning?
I mean, they winning money, but it's easy if they get it. Already a fool and his money is soon parted, and they come with other, all kinds of other shit. Death. If you're dealing with more people than usual and you're a hoe, you're dealing with maybe dangerous people too. There's all kinds of shit coming with it. Soul ties, all that energy, all of that negative energy rubbing on you, even though you think you're gaining something, you're also losing a lot of things too in the process.
And they collecting a lot. They collecting a lot of DNA too. A lot of times these women out here with all these likes and getting all flown out and flying out to these guys, cities or these athletes or entertainers or rappers or, stuff like that. They messing with these Instagram models. And at the end of the day, they are getting imprinted to have a certain type of lifestyle or a certain type of dude. But then when they go home at night, once everything's shut off and the camera's not in their face and all this stuff, they going to bed lonely and inside they feeling lonely. But they got to learn how to, at the end of the day, a woman got to learn how to cash out with her beauty regardless. And man too, and that's one thing I would say about myself is I can look at a woman, even if I'm committed, and let's just be honest, when you committed with a woman, you're going to see other beautiful women. But as a man, you got to have a certain type of standard and a certain type of mindset. Like, okay, I've been there before. You got to learn how to quench your thirst for your attraction when you deal with women. And that's the first sign of growing up as a man is when I was like married, I would see chicks try to throw it at me still, but how I would get past it, it was like, okay, I didn't deal with that in the past when I was a bachelor. It's not worth losing what I have at home, you know, because I remember one time I used the analogy of what was that thin line between love and hate when Martin was talking to the club owner for Chocolate City. He was like, why don't you want to just jump into something with one of these young chicks running around here? And he was like, you know, every day I look at a piece of ass, but I realized that what me and my wife got is not even worth it. So sometimes as men, we have to grow, understand our appetite, or be realistic with our appetite of what we done had in women, and realize that if I'm going to make her the wife, then I'm going to have to give up this. And that's what the same thing with this likes things. Because at this like thing, people get so caught up with validation, and let's just be real. You get 30,000 likes, you might not even talk to 29,000 of them damn people if you really can see who they really is. A lot of times women don't realize that it's very a low selection of a man that's going to compliment you the way you really want to be. And sometimes you gotta want to give up all the likes for just one like. And that's what it boils down to. And that's the dilemma that, unfortunately, a lot of young ladies are going through. All these men and flying here, flying there, getting imprinted. And then when they're a certain age, they really can't dummy down to the man that they really want. And then their head is screwed up. And then they say, I don't need a man. When deep down inside, when a woman say that right away, that means they really want a man. So that's what I want to say on that. So, but at the end of the day, we got to make our choices wisely. I'm going to go around on a panel because we've been on here 3 hours. And I want to get off this. And, you know, I ain't got no Valentine. I'm going to Valentine myself to bed. But at the end of the day, I feel like the likes thing that's something that's subjective. That's something that you choose to do. You know, the most important things we have in our life is our time and our choices. And time is not guaranteed, but our choices is something that could make us and break us. By hitting the send button or being selective with what we put on social media can help us and can hurt us. It can brand you or it could just destroy you. So with that being said, I want to start with Chris. I want her to go ahead, Chris, and I want you to express. I know you got a live coming on tomorrow with a spotlight, and I want you guys to check her out on Instagram. And she, tell the audience what you're doing, Chris, and where they can find you at, and any closing thing you want to say about this topic. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, and I just want to allow me to speak on your platform. I always enjoy coming on. I feel like you're very insightful. One of the things that I thrive on is talking about relationships and Black love, especially in the complexities and the joy that can come out of it. So I just appreciate being able to share my experiences with you and everybody else on the panel. I do want to say a couple of things about the whole like situation. I think for women who are listening who might struggle with this issue, just make sure that you don't let the likes complete you. Don't let that be, the part of you that you feel needs, to make you whole. And the same with the man that comes in your life. No man can complete you. When you meet him, you will be complete, and he will find you in that space, and he will be. And I think that, it takes you having to step away from, all the attention seeking to really, really look deep into yourself to find who you are. So on my platform, I do speak a lot to single mothers. I think more specifically to moms who have been in toxic relationships, who have been broken, who have not had self-worth, and who are on a journey to healing, who are finding themselves, and who are ready to thrive. And so my platform is all about, single moms who are thriving. I do a spotlight every other week where I highlight single moms who are thriving in their respective communities. They're either, in their careers, their businesses, relationships, whatever. And I also go on and I talk on different platforms about relationships as well. And you can find me at She Thrives Now on Instagram.
Okay. Can you put that in the comment section real quick? Your Instagram?
Oh, yeah. No problem.
All right. And then I'll go with Tate. You got any closing thing you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I say, I feel like the best thing to do is love yourself, man. At the end of the day, you got to love yourself first. you can't find it in another person because another person can definitely feel you because you will feel somebody else too. So love yourself. You know, do the best you can, and even when you mess up, own up. You know, own up to it. I mean, like I said, I like this, and like I'm like I can't think of her name before. It's Chris, right?
Yeah.
But like she said, the whole black love thing is my thing too. Like I said, I'm single, but I still have that dream that one day I'm gonna have that big wedding. I'm like a chicken when it comes to that stuff. Like I want a big wedding, you know. But like I say, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do the work prior to, you know, you gotta do the work now for tomorrow. So if you ain't gonna do that, it ain't gonna work. But other than that, you know me. You know, like I say, y'all know where to find me on Instagram and on whatever. It's always Shock Tate. I'll put that in the chat shortly, but it's Shock Tate, SHOCKTATE. And peace and blessings to everyone on who's listening.
All right. Catherine, you got something to add? Captain, you there? Houston, we got a problem. All right, I go to Mo. Mo, you got something?
Yes, thank you, Stack, for the platform. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panel. And also, to piggyback on that, I do love Black love. I think you should have self-love. If you have been hurt, take time to heal. If you need therapy, definitely keep prayer. I like when Chris said journaling. That also has helped me. And definitely be complete so when your mate comes, we'll both be complete together. But again, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts and to hear you guys' thoughts too.
Okay.
No doubt.
I don't know why it didn't pop up on the chat, Chris, but I'll put it in my details when I'm done with the video because I don't know. I just
posted it. It didn't come up.
Well, I don't see it. I see it on my computer. I don't see it on my other live stream on my other phone. But sometimes when you put Instagram, YouTube be tripping. So sometimes you just gotta put IG, put IG and put your name on it, and it'll pop up.
Oh, okay.
Don't put Instagram. It's on not even show it up on the comment. But there you go. See, there you go. It worked that time. Anytime, yeah, and Tate, if you put yours up, but just put your IG Shock Tate on it, and it'll work too. So, let me see. Hey, Houston, Catherine, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I was washing dishes. I'm a little washing dishes, and I couldn't touch the phone,
All
so
right.
I had it on mute. But yeah, I enjoyed the stream. I believe that on this whole life thing, for just the way I feel, it has to do with the person, you know, the female. And I think once you get to a certain point in your life, it's a lot of things that you'll stop doing. It has to do a lot with how you feel about yourself, your spirituality, and everything. So that person, you know, I feel like when you are young, you do a lot of things that, you know, and you don't not come into knowledge of yourself, then you'll do those type of things. And I think that comes with knowledge of self, of how you put yourself out there in front of people who don't have the opportunity to be in your presence every day, and that's how they see you. So you just want to be mindful of that. But I enjoyed the stream. I do still feel like it's a lot of double standards between, you know, men and women. I think it's a lot really unfair, you know, but I guess that's just the way life is. But I enjoyed everybody. I take away something, you know, from what everybody, you know, comment on. I take a little bit of that and I try to, you know, use it and understand things better in this life. So I appreciate it, and I always enjoy being on with each and every one of you.
All right, Mike, what you got?
Man, I say it all the time, you know, self-love, love and respect for whoever you're with, no matter even if it is by yourself. And if you need that time, you know, to heal or work on whatever you want to, always pray on it first. Don't be so concerned about life too much, because if you had self-love, you wouldn't be that concerned about it. A lot of things I would like to see change between one another as a people. I would like to see for all of us to have peace, be more in place and more in tune with God rather than what's really going on. Stacks, I just want to say thank you for bringing this wonderful platform to help some people get, like, you know, a really reality boot to the ass to the point of where it won't hurt them, but it will help them learn, you know, lessons in life and becoming a better person, so that way we all can learn from one another and becoming a more prominent, more fruitful people to live longer and to express that to others and to becoming better, not just competing with one another, but just doing it in a positive way. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to all the members of the panel. It's a wonderful channel. I want to say thank y'all for having y'all here, and let's continue to keep doing the damn thing.
Facts. I appreciate all y'all for calling in and giving y'all perspective. And at the end of the day, I know sometimes it could be a double standard, just like Catherine said, but at the end of the day, we have to realize that men are the gatekeepers of marriage, women are the gatekeepers of sex. And, you know, we have to move with the good book says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And at the end of the day, the guy that's looking for a wife has to be a husband-minded before he finds a wife, and a woman that wants to be found has to be a wife-minded individual. And that's what it's all about. You know, some people need to look at their social media and take some things down if they're seeking for marriage and seeking for the end goal of being a wife or being a husband. And that will help your pair bonding experience work, because at the end of the day, like last week, I said relationships are reflective. If you, like me, I said, if I go to the gym, I'm going to want a woman that at least works on her body, and everything else has to fall in place with the spiritual, the mental, and everything else. But at the end of the day, we want to find people that's going to reflect off of who we are and who's going to represent us. And when we do the vet now and we do checking on the Instagram and asking spiritual questions, those questions are important to find somebody that's going to complement your life, not complicate your life. But with that being said, guys, I want everybody to realize it's you versus you to get better, get therapy, get help. Listen to people like me and Coach Warren and Grown Man Business and just people on the panel, period. And you got to stack attack your life. You got to stack up your life. And I'll holler at y'all on next Saturday's videos. And we're definitely going to jump in on next week and talk about some more things. But we'll talk about that. And I'll have like 3 videos coming on during the week. So good night, everybody. Peace. We off.